Welcome to this thing that we are doing. I am Mugany. I am with Rose Lucky 7. 7, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Lucky Seven.
Yeah, I just said your name, little bitch. And who is our guest today?
It's Milk.
I was gonna
Milk,
say,
say something.
I'm here. I did a thing. Hello.
This is the barcast all over, and you just don't say anything, even during your own interview.
I'm saying stuff now. It's like I'm using words. It's almost like I have a voice and can say things.
It's good enough. It's good enough. I'll take it. Okay. This is the test pilot for the new podcast we're trying to start. We're calling it Snarkcast for now. We're not quite sure on the name. I'm just calling that to make it Seven happy because he came up with it.
Thank you.
But
I think it's a good
welcome.
name.
It's okay. I'm still not sure on it. What else is there to say about this? Okay, so there is a reason behind this podcast. And especially the reason behind this first guest. So, not that long ago, the Barcast had its final episode. It's been running for how many years was it, Milk? Was it about 8, 10?
Like 8 and some change, give or take.
Yeah, about 8. And it was a very long-running piece of the fandom. So when it finally ended, it was kind of an emotional moment for a lot of people. And I contributed to every single podcast episode for about 5-6 years, give or take, writing stupid, cringy questions. And I remember for that last podcast, I was actually talking to Flutterpriest in voice chat. He was helping me write my final set, and we got to talking about a lot of things. And I decided, you know what, this is a good chance to ask him a few questions I've been meaning to ask. And eventually, I said, okay, if there is one issue I had with the Bartcast, is that it was very much about shotgunning questions. There was a little room for authentic conversation. There was authentic conversation once in a while, and it was usually very fun. But for the most part, it was usually about getting through those questions and making sure we don't go over that runtime. So that's where I got the idea for this. This is the inverse of the Barcast, where the Barcast was meant to be very shitposty and asking a lot of questions, whatever kind of questions you want to ask, no matter how cringe it was. This one is a little more formal. We are streaming live right now. I do not know if we're going to do this for every episode. I know I have a certain format in mind for the podcast. I want every episode to be edited and put on YouTube. What else is there to say? 7, be my sidekick here. I'm lost my strength. You see? Save the situation. Be a good sidekick.
Fill the space. Be the pencil to his priest.
All right, Milk.
Yes.
I have a very important question for you.
Fuck, it's question time.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of a lead off of that. I've wondered, and I've never really asked, but how does it feel knowing that you and your friends did have such a profound impact for, on the lives of so many people? A lot of people just tune in, and a lot of people on that last show said that you honestly just made their days and nights more enjoyable just from watching you guys and getting to know you. How did that actually make you feel, seeing that outpouring of love and support for you guys?
From my perspective, it was really I hate the words heartwarming. That's such a fucking lazy use of words. But it really was something special to to know that all these people were coming together to say, basically, we improved their lives to some degree just by showing up and us being shit on a podcast, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was really awesome to know and see that people actually were telling us that we made a difference, and it feels good to know that we made a difference somewhere.
It's very good. Yeah, and I guess to go back on what I was saying, this podcast, it is going to be a little bit like the Barcast. We're going to carry a little bit of that format back into it, so we have sections that are kind of dedicated to the broadcast format. Seven has his shotgun questions. We're going to get to those in a little bit. I have my cringe questions, the questions I use to make the guests purposely uncomfortable. But for the most part, we're just interested in talking to the guests and just getting to know them. And if we have fun with this, if everything works out, we're going to do more of it. Okay, so Milk, I guess I'll start by asking, are you comfortable right now?
Very comfortable.
That's good. Okay. Getting to my first question, so from what I understand, you are pretty much the founder of the podcast. You are the reason why it started in the first place. I understand it started out as the Good IG podcast. To your memory, do you remember what it was that got you to drop the idea that you and your friends should start a podcast together?
Yeah, actually, for as bad as my memory is, I'm surprisingly well versed in remembering most of what happened for GHIE and Bark. It wasn't even my idea originally. I think it was just we had started a Skype group just as like a way to connect everybody in the GHIE group a little more effectively. Because when I started, I was just kind of shit posting in the forums and asking questions while I was working through all the backlog of just story after story that needed to be approved or denied. And I thought it'd be cool to like hear what other people are saying or what some of the authors are doing. So I started up a Skype group and threw the link out there, and everybody showed up and was hanging out. And then it was Carrier Heartbreak.
Oh god, I miss Carrier of Heartbreak.
I just call him Carrier at this point.
Yeah.
He was the coolest. He was pretty cool and baller, and he was like, "Hey, we're all in here. We could do a call and like hang out." And I'm like, "Hey, that sounds kind of cool." So we did it, and then we're like, "Oh, we should stream this chat because like people have interesting things to say." And I'm like, "Well, what would I put on the screen?" And I think somebody else was like, "Oh, just put fucking games on the screen." So I started playing Killing Floor while we did these things. And it was dumb. We were like every Saturday or Friday or whatever, like, "Oh, we're gonna show up and talk about horses and stuff, and I'll sit here and play a game so that it's not like just back and forth bullshit." And
yeah,
we sat there for like 8 hours doing that shit.
So you were like the original like TikTok content, like because you knew people wouldn't be okay with just talking. You had to put a game behind the talking to grab everyone's attention.
It was
you gave Leafy. You gave Leafy his idea for the common streaming formats.
Yeah, actually, hold on, you predated.
Yeah, Leafy. Yeah, Leafy was the one who started that.
Man,
that's right there with it.
How does it feel to know that you could have been Leafy?
I don't even know who Leafy is.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. No one.
It's
no one does anymore.
All you need to know, very controversial YouTuber back in, I want to say, 2015, huge Keemstar drama. He's basically this honeypot for drama. That's how he built his entire name brand on YouTube. Thankfully, YouTube deleted his channel. It was a very uncontroversial decision. Nobody liked him. But yeah, I remember during the final Barcast stream, I was actually revisiting it a couple of days ago. And speaking of playing games during stream, during the middle of it, it was like 4 hours long. During the middle of it, there's all this emotional stuff going on, and I just see you log into this trucking game. You're just
so he's running it. It's like the truck top runner or whatever.
Yeah, you're just playing this while all this. There's all this emotional stuff going on, and you're just playing that.
Fucking cluster truck. Yes. Okay. So like, I am not one for emotions and all that sappy shit. So like, everybody's talking about all their stuff and their experiences with the cast, and like, I'm not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I'm on spectrum. And I'm just like,
Same.
I don't have these same feelings or a way to express my actual feelings. So you guys have fun. I'm gonna play a game, and they told me I could, so I did what I was allowed to do.
Oh, okay. So
Hey.
that's actually a good. Sorry, go ahead, Seven.
Oh, I just wanted to say, the Good HIE podcast started with you playing a game in the background, and the Barcast ended with you playing a game in the background.
It absolutely fucking did.
It's poetic.
Okay. Okay. So I have a question leading into that. Okay. So you say you like you have a difficulty like properly displaying your emotions. I actually have the same issue. I am on the spectrum. I do not know if that's just connected in general. Okay, so my sense of humor is a defense mechanism. Whenever I'm put in a situation where I have to sympathize, if I have to be sincere, I don't know how, so I immediately go to making a joke. So I wonder, are you kind of the same way, or whether or not you are the same way, where do you think that inability to find the sincerity in the situation, where do you think that comes from?
I have no fucking clue. Like, like straight
That's
up, I laughter and jokes are my coping mechanism for what I would describe as the level of depression and like social anxiety that I deal with. I can't make somebody laugh, or the conversation isn't in a way where I could say something funny and get a reaction out of it. Then like, I'm gonna be really not invested in the conversation. I'm gonna be really awkward the entire fucking time. Like, that's just where I'm gonna be at with it, and I don't know how to break out of that. And I don't think I ever really figured out how to while I was in the cast, because that was kind of like a goal, was to be more social and talk to people. But we also how that went, through the 8 years that I fucking did that shit. So
yeah. I don't think you talked. I think you said 8 words during the entire podcast. That was throughout the entire 8 years. That's one word a year.
One
yeah,
word a year.
honestly,
It's ironic in a way though, because you were the host, by all technicality there, and you were the one who talked the least by far.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised we're not best friends, because I am the exact same way. If I am not able to like fit in a joke within the conversation, I just get very socially awkward, because that is my scapegoat. That is like my scapegoat into being social.
It's the best way to be social,
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. Obviously, it's a biased opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, it either has to be like and it's usually with strangers specifically. If it's with somebody I know well, like Seven, I can speak comfortably. I'm sure you're the same way there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I'm familiar with somebody, then I can definitely roll with the conversation. It doesn't have to be all jokes and whatnot. I feel like a lot of what I do for my daily work has also helped me out in that regards. Like, I have to deal with outward customer relations, so I can't just constantly make jokes about offering myself to the customer.
God, I wish we could.
You can.
I wish we could.
I can.
You can. It just won't work out.
They get really concerned, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, not really, but I need you to laugh. I need you to laugh like
It'd
that,
be.
but I don't actually."
Oh my god.
So
It'd be
like,
even more concerning if. It'd be even more concerning if you made jokes about offing yourself while working for a certain hotline. I hope you don't.
That'd be pretty silly and goofy right there.
Pretty goofy, but you're just a goober.
I've
He's just a goober. Don't mind him.
Got the opportunity to do something really funny.
Okay.
But yeah, as like the host, I never really talked, and I think the nice part about doing that is that I could just focus on getting the guests together and coordinating everybody together, and then I didn't really pick a team as much as the team showed up and said they weren't leaving, so that was a really good advantage. So
what's funny is it reminded me, there's a channel I used to watch on YouTube. They haven't streamed in a long time or even posted videos, but it was funnily enough the same way. It was this Halo 2 Tricks thing, but the guy who recorded it didn't know how to make his mic get on the recording. So for the 150 episodes of the show, you never heard his voice. And then one day he just uploaded a video where you could hear it, and I just like had whiplash and flew back in my chair because I just couldn't believe that the host finally talked after all that time. And that's what it's like when you ask questions, you know, when you did.
It's super rare that I would ever ask questions, but yeah, it would be pretty fun to do.
Speaking of questions,
It's 70, you didn't post a fucking blog. I'm scrolling through the blogs on FinFiction right now. You did not post one.
you're right, I didn't. Anyways, moving on.
Fucking got him.
1,000 followers would be really useful here. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to the next question.
Most of them followed me like 10 years ago.
Okay, next question. Okay, so the podcast started out as the Good HIE podcast. Maybe it was a little different. I'm not too sure.
That's
If there
exactly
were
what it
any
was.
before that.
That's what it was.
Just the Good HIE podcast. That's how it started. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay, what encouraged the transition from Good HIE to Barcast?
Oh, how much drama am I allowed to like talk about? Are you guys okay with drama?
As long as there's no like,
Sure.
as long as there's no outward slander, I don't care.
Okay, so like I
Yeah.
only speak on the exact events as they follow. So
Okay,
um,
I know the drama version. By the way, you can tell Muggany after the show.
Okay.
The drama version and the real version are pretty much one and the same because what happened was what happened. It was drama because it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But so like when I was working with GHIE, there were a handful of mods and the owner. So me and Rav were two mods, and we were running the show. We had Priest Pencil and Fly Enigma, who weren't mods at all. They just had contributor status or whatever. But I was basically told when I first started the group, or when I first got into the group, that the owner was going to go off to college and deal with a whole bunch of shit in their life and come back whenever they came back. So I just took over for 2-3 years while doing this shit and working back and forth with it. The guy comes back after college and he says to me, "Hey, I noticed you guys got a podcast. I think that's really cool, but I want to make some changes to it." And I'm like, "Well, okay, you can make some suggestions, but we're not looking to make any changes because we found a formula that works for our audience." And he's like, "I don't care. It's my group. I own everything that's related to this game. You're going to make these changes, and I'm going to be on the show as a host as well." And I'm like, "No, do not. We're doing things, and it's working. We're actually getting into conventions as guests." And he's like, "No, I want to be on the show." So I said, "Well, that's not going to work. Let me talk to the guys. We're gonna figure something out." And in the time that I was talking to them, expressing this issue, he had removed us from our moderator contribution status from the group and closed all of our threads out of the thing, which was a really big shit in the face because we were interviewing Nighty and Foamy that week. So, or fans of most everything. I just call them.
Now you still got the 90 interview done though, didn't you? If I recall.
Yeah, we did, but the thing was like we were set up to do it, and after he removed us from the moderator status and we had our back and forth in our fight, he basically saw that we were going to run, so he wanted to relent and give us all of our whatever back after removing our moderator status, but he wanted to keep us as non-moderators. Which he said we said fuck that, and we were off on our own thing, and he decided that he was going to start the thread again for both Foamy and Nighty at the same time, which is completely broken from our own format. He had no idea what we did actually. So it was very interesting to see him trying to do that. Then there was the big post about us amicably splitting, which it really wasn't amicable on our side. We were like, well, that's kind of a dick move. So we were just like all over the place. And then Pencil's like, okay, let's go make our own thing, and we're going to call it Barcast. Now, no matter how much Enigma says it, he was not the one who came up with the name. It was Pencil. But Enigma claims the title as being the person to have made the name for Barcast. So, don't listen to his fucking
interesting.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And it's funny. That just really goes to prove that no matter where you are in the world, your corporate overlords will come back and fuck things up somehow. They will always manage to do it. You will have something great going because they're gone, and the moment they come back, they fuck everything up.
Oh, it was so good because like it was in the same 2 years that he had finally come back. We were getting into the online convention HawkCon, which was run by oh my god, why can't I think of their name now? Oh man, I'm struggling. Crown Prince, that's who. We were getting in with their convention that they were running online, and we were doing that stuff. And we'd also gotten community guest status at BabsCon 2017, I think it was. That was the year before the big change. But we were getting noticed, and people were like, "Oh, we'd love to have you at our convention, and let's do some stuff." Or, "How do I get on your show?" And it was starting to catch on. But then, the owner came back, and he basically shit on all the work that we were doing and made it really hard to get back into our position. But when we did do the change, we had a lot of outpouring of support from like even moderators of the website. People who were moderators who were like, "We want to help you with this, so we're going to spread the word as much as we can." They showed up and helped, and
on FinFic?
Everybody was wonderful. Yeah, on FinFic.
Oh yeah, no, like back then, like you had people like Obsolescence, Alex Straza, like they were awesome. They were wonderful to work with.
On the ball people, yeah. Honestly, on the ball.
Yep. People. I mean, there's a reason that Alex Straza and Wanderer D are the two people in the Ban from FinFiction video.
I love that video.
It's so iconic.
And I've seen Wanderer at a couple of conventions. I actually met Wanderer's son at one of the conventions. Cider Fest, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he has kids.
Yeah, he was at the convention. I was talking with him and talking with his kid and everything. It was really cool just to see everybody show up. It was nice to see him as well. That was probably the first time I'd seen him in person like that. I think it was. So.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. I like Wonder D.
He's cool.
He's a very good writer, from my understanding. I don't think I've actually read anything by. Well, okay, so I read one story by him, but that was only one. But yeah, I know he's a lot of people really like his writing.
He's definitely got some really good writing skill behind him. I couldn't say what stories I would recommend because it's been years since I've actually read any fiction stories on FinFic. But I remember reading a lot of his stuff and going through some of the other moderator writing stories. A lot of them have great stuff with them.
Yeah, the fact that you had so many people backing you up so early on, it kind of goes to show how iconic the podcast was to FinFiction. And I think the drama worked out because Barcast is more catchy than the good HIE podcast. It's more iconic than a good HIE podcast. Granted, there are other podcasts called the Barcast, but you're the Barcast. You're actually copyrighted.
It also opened them up to non-HIE things, like the big part of it.
So that's a whole other tangent right there.
Do we want to go on that tangent? Do you want to explore that tangent?
I can briefly summarize like the 2 or 3 tangents that are there.
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead. That's what this is for.
So in terms of like the support we got and being able to do more not GHIE content, it was a whole lot easier to explain to people that we're a podcast about horses with the name Barcast than it was that we were trying to interview non-HIE authors on a podcast called The Good HIE List. So the name really helped propel us way ahead of our time. And then actually having the name Barcast, turns out that there is a company that puts TVs in bars, and they do broadcasts like those Plinko things or those Kino, whatever. But if you've been in the bar and you've looked at some of the screens, they're playing like gambling, whatever. That's usually like them or a type of company like that. They were on Google as well, but we beat them in the listing of the ranking for like SEO stuff. And then there was another group that started a Barcast like thing where they were at a bar interviewing random people and then actually like famous people too. But they couldn't break out of their little shell, and we kept beating them in the listing until like I think in the last year or two, they put out a YouTube short of like them showing our podcast, and they're like, "Oh, please help me get views to beat the furry Barcast." And I feel like that was peak.
The furry Barcast.
We are the furry Barcast. So there's the furry Barcast, and then there's the regular Barcast. We're the cool one because we actually get the views.
Not only that, but you also interviewed very interesting people, and you weren't afraid to bring on people who had like 3 followers if they asked, and you gave people a platform to
Yeah.
help grow themselves, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
had me on after I bribed you.
You had me on 3 times. I don't know how I did that.
we weren't afraid to go and get people with whatever following that they had, because we knew that it's not the followers that make the content, it's the people that we're interviewing that are gonna be the content. And a lot of people have a lot of really cool stuff to say and talk about, and we liked the idea of listening to our audience, and they would tell us who they wanted to hear, and that to them it didn't matter how many followers they were, they just wanted to hear from this person. So, we would have people on 2 or 3 times because that's who people wanted to listen to. Those are the ones they wanted to have on and ask questions to. So, like, you were on 3 times. We had Mad Max the Black on a handful of times. Rob was on countless times. Fiara was on a couple times. Actually, I think Fiara holds the record for most comebacks onto the show uh,
How many?
among
Nice.
any of our guests. I think like 6 or 7, honestly.
Yeah, that beats me.
So,
I was 4 if you include something emo and edgy. And
I
then
would count.
you also had like every moderator on. Basically, it felt like.
We tried for every moderator. Some were
I know you
like,
had
I'm not
Jack Ripper, you had Seiko.
Jack Ripper, Seiko, Cowboy.
Did you ever get Wanderer?
Yeah, Wonder was on I think twice, and then we also
Okay,
had
okay.
we had Chapped Penguin Lips on there. Lammy was actually one of our original people that worked with us a lot before he became a moderator.
Yeah, he was one of the moderators in the Barcast server.
Lammy was a really cool person to work with.
Yeah, I still chat with him when I can.
I get like a once a year update, and it's always like really like totally different things are going on. It's really neat to see stuff like that happen. The changing of life.
He's like going on trips every weekend. I got to go to a Jaguars game with him in person, which was a lot of fun. Definitely, he would hate me telling this story, but he got so wasted he passed out in his seat. I don't know how you can pass out in a seat at a football game with 70,000 people screaming around you. But he did it.
When you get that sauce in you, man, once you hit sleeping time, you are out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, dude, he had like 13 beers. Like, I don't care if you think beer is weak stuff. 13?
That's a good amount of drinking right there.
Yeah, and it was in about 3 hours, so he was gone.
Okay, so speaking of having people, all sorts of people on the podcast, you don't have to name any names if you're not comfortable with the slander. How often did you have a guest where you just went in your head, I hope we never have this guy on again?
Oh boy. I'm genuinely trying to think, because there were a couple of them, and you could if you look at the YouTube channel and you look at the times, you can see where we tried to shorten it down to get through things quicker. And
yeah, Priest briefed me on this.
You'll notice one of the casts only went for about 45 minutes, and that's because every question we got was just a deadpan answer with zero follow through. And that way they weren't a bad person.
That's got to be painful to go through, though.
Yeah.
I think I know which interview it is. I think I know.
I'm gonna sort these by length. I'm finding this out.
Oh yeah, you'll find it immediately. And if you've ever interacted with this person, they are very on the spot, business type person. They're a very good person. I like them, but they're bad guys. They aren't gonna.
I can't. I'm not gonna say their name directly. I'm just gonna give a fake name that sounds like their name. Is it Tyrannosaurus Suit?
Yeah, that's the one.
That is my favorite interview, because there's so many moments throughout the interview that it just feels scripted. At one point, Pencil just like she recognizes very early on that the podcast is not gonna go well, so she just screams the drinking word.
Yeah, and like every time we get to a point where it's super fucking awkward, she just starts screaming the drinking word because she knows we fucking need it at that point.
And yeah, toward the end, there's this moment where she starts making the excuse. Okay, we really have to end this podcast early. We've never done this before. We've gone through all our questions already. That never happened.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
we
yeah.
have a really long stream tomorrow, so we have to go. And there's this moment where Tyrannosaurus suit goes, "Oh really?" That's classic. And Pencil goes, "No, we really do." And
Yeah.
Suit
It
just
was
says, "No, I was talking about the meme Enigma sense." And that moment felt so scripted. That was honestly amazing.
it was a very rough cast. I know one that the guys were like everybody wasn't like super excited about, but there was I loved having them on because they weren't bad. They were a wonderful guest. They just wouldn't let anybody else get some words in, and that was oh man, I can't remember the fucking name because I think you'd love to have them on. They won't shut up. It's amazing. They do this breathing technique where
Is it
they
Neil
breathe
deGrasse
through their nose.
Tyson?
No. It's
Shut the fuck up.
oh man, I'm struggling with the name. I feel so bad because it was Aragorn. Aragorn is the one. That's the name.
Oh, Aragon?
Aragorn
Aragon?
does Aragon, or I'm sorry, I'm struggling with
Aragon,
I-
yeah.
They
I actually.
knew how to talk
Sorry, go ahead.
and not stop talking. It was amazing because
Yeah.
they wouldn't let Priest or Pencil get a word in, and that threw them way off their fucking like Aragorn.
That's
could tell
fun.
a story.
I wish I had seen that because that sounds funny, actually.
That was amazing. We
Yeah.
had them on twice, and I wanted a third time, but they told me no. So
I actually. Aragon is actually one of the people I hope to have on this podcast if it ever takes off. But that is like
There
the
we go.
main-
That's perfect.
Yeah, that
whole,
yeah, that's the
wholeheartedly
main.
recommend. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
recommend.
that's the main thing I'm worried about because I know about Aragon's ego. I know how he can be. So yeah, I'm a
It's
little
just-
worried on that
Hey,
part.
man. Compared to some people on FimFic, it is what it is.
Ooh, there are definitely people who will treat it like a business proposition. If you bring them on, they're going to talk about their brand, their stories, and it's going to be all about promoting themselves. Guaranteed to happen. If you go through the list of people we've gone through, you'll hit 2 or 3 of them like that, and it can be frustrating to deal with because you want to have a fun time, but they're there to promote their brand, and it's a business thing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Buster Nuts being very much like that.
Buster was a pretty cool dude. I remember they had the whole drama thing where like they were getting off the site, wanted us to kill the interview, so we did. So it doesn't exist anymore. We agreed that
Really?
if you go back,
And then they made a new account and they're back on the site, so you may as well have left it up.
I should have, but at the same time, we respect the people who come to us and say, "Hey, I loved what
Is it like deleted, or just unlisted?
Deleted.
Oh man, I was gonna say yeah. You
That's
could
the
have
last-
reached out.
That's lost media, ladies and gentlemen. We have something brings to the wiki.
Yeah, if
Indeed.
anyone can find the Buster Nut interview with the Barcast, now the chances of that are 0%, but I'll give $10 to anyone who can do it.
Honestly.
You know what I just learned recently? I just learned this yesterday. Okay, I learned recently that the game, if you remember this might take you back to the old Flash game days. The game Hotel 626 is now lost media.
I don't know it, honestly.
It was
Oh.
this very... Hello?
Oh, I was gonna say, Muggany, by the way, make sure you read stream chat because someone had a question, and
Okay.
it was for us as well.
Okay, I'll read that in a second. But yeah, Seven, did you hear about the game Hotel 626?
I didn't. I feel like I might have heard of it. Is this the one that was like a horror game that was on the internet made by like a soda company or Doritos or something?
It was made by Doritos.
Yes, I have heard of this actually, and there is video of it, but the game itself is gone, from what I understand.
Yeah. It was very popular amongst Let's Players. I remember this is back when I was really into PewDiePie, and PewDiePie would play it, Markiplier would play it, all sorts of Let's Play channels would play it. And the game, it was very what's the word I'm thinking of? It was very creative for its time. It was very ahead of its time, as people describe it. It was kind of mixed. It mixed live action with point and click. You're in this hotel, and what's very unique about it is you could only check in between the time of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. And
Yep.
that just it just added this layer of immersion to it, and it was very jump scare heavy, but it had some creative levels. Like there's this part where you have to play a music box to keep this baby asleep, and you just have to spin your mouse around to do that. But if you have a
Awesome.
microphone, you can sing it lullaby, and you have to sneak out of the room by waving your mouse left and right to make sure you keep your balance, or else the baby will jump scare you. Um, and the reason why the game is lost media now, the reason why it doesn't exist anymore, was because it one of the levels you're walking through this what's the room called, the one with the where you develop photos, dark room. You're walking through this dark
Yeah.
room. Yeah, and you're seeing all these pictures hanging up on clotheslines, and all of them are of real people. It's pictures taken from people's webcam, and the game did not ask permission to do that. And Doritos
Oh,
was actually, yeah, Doritos, that would have made Doritos liable to be sued. So they had no choice but to take it down. But yeah, it was that game and Asylum 66, the sequel. Those were yeah. If you ever want to go through a really interesting rabbit hole, those games had very big impact in the early 2010s. It was very big in the Flash game days.
that's like the guy game.
Yeah, the guy game.
Oh, so that
Is
was a
that the one
game.
where you're in the pods and have to climb?
No. The guy game was a game for original Xbox where you solved puzzles, and if you solved the puzzles, you got to see naked girls. It was basically like photo shoot style naked women, like those old Girls Gone Wild ads that you'd see on Adult Swim at 2 in the morning. Which of course was every time my parents walked in to tell me to go to bed, those would be on. But anyways, um, it turns out that one of the models that agreed to be in the game provided the game developers with a fake ID, and she was actually underage, so the game had to get pulled from store shelves, and you can only buy it like online now, and it goes for really heavy prices.
Jesus.
G Jesus.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on from that. So Seven, do you want to ask the question in Twitch chat?
Oh, sure. So, Milk,
Yeah.
Empty Plot Filler has a question for you.
Okay.
That name sounds kind of lewd now that I think about it. But anyways, was there ever an expectation of receiving a gift from a guest being interviewed, and what was the best one you received? Now, before you answer this, this does remind me, you do owe Muggany and me each $10 for allowing you to be on for this
You do.
interview.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
requirement.
Yeah.
When you guys go to a convention that I'm at, just roll up and I'll just give you $10 each.
Okay. Okay. So, did you ever receive a gift from an interviewee? Was there ever an expectation of that? Like they said they would bring something for you guys?
Man, I don't think there was. I know when we brought Nutaz on, she drew little like doodly art for us, and that was nice.
Mhm.
There was no expectation for it. She just did it out of the kindness of her heart. I loved them because they were JoJo memes, and of course I love those things. But there wasn't an expectation of gifts, and we never received any. But we did when we interviewed some show VAs. We did give them booze as a gift.
Nice, nice. And I will say, on the last show, you guys did get that video made for you. The funeral
Oh, that's
of the
right.
Varcast.
Yeah, Venates, he did that. He did those. Davis, Invisible Davis, before he got super YouTube famous, he did some videos for us too. There's like 3 of those. Those are pretty awesome. I love his editing. His skills were fucking amazing. He just did some really great things.
Mm-hmm. So you never received
just,
like any dice or anything?
No, nothing like that. I was told that I could buy dice from one of the guests because they had a store that They just had dice as an extra thing. They got them as like a bulk thing. They were giving them out with their books, and I could buy some dice if I wanted to, which I don't think I actually did. But
I mean, you probably have enough dice, but you know, you can never have enough if you're into games like that. So
I mean, you say this as I'm holding the jar of cursed dice that I've recently gotten. They are
exactly.
they are based on the pony jar meme, so they are like
This
super.
actually,
Oh, can I see
Yeah.
those?
Well,
Can you
Yeah.
put those in the chat? I wanna show those on stream actually.
Let me get my
well,
phone here and snag a picture of them because they are based on the meme, the jar meme. And
I'll pull
they are
those up
super
on
scuzzy.
Firefox here.
They are super scuzzy looking.
Are they? Oh boy.
Not
while
scuzzy
on
and
topic,
bad, but, like, yes.
while on topic, this is actually one of my questions. What is it with your obsession with dice?
I make the joke that I'm a bird and like shiny things attract me very easily, and I just buy them. But honestly, what started it all was I was going to PAX West and PAX East, the gaming convention. And one of the trips, I think it was like 2017 or 18, I got super fucking high, like aggressively high.
Oh
And
no.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking around the convention, absolutely blitzed out of my mind, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do anymore. I was really awkward. But I wanted to
Was this
buy.
the same time where you and I met and you did every drug known to man and
Yeah.
it wasn't effective? Okay, good.
Yes, that was
Go ahead.
that time.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I was in PAX East and I walked up to this booth. And I like dice. I've always liked dice, and then I liked collecting minerals. I always pick up rocks and put them in my pocket and everything. This one company called Level Up Dice was doing exactly what I wanted. They were dice made out of the rocks that I was collecting. So I sat there and I'm like, I want these 8 sets, and they're like, but sir, that's like $500. I don't give a fuck. Here's my credit card. Put them in a bag. And the owner like looks at me and he walks over. He's like, "Would you be interested in some really fancy dice?" So he hands me like this really nice pleated box, and I open it up. Beautiful set of Charite dice. You can only get Charite over in like Russia. It's like one specific lake area that has it. He pulls them out and he's like, "Here, look at these." I'm like, "I like these. How much are these?" He's like, $1,500. I put them on my tab, good sir. I want these. And then he hands me the next set. He's like, "What about these titanium dice where we drilled them out so they have a cage around them and they're flame touched so that they're anodized?" I'm like, "My good sir, you are speaking my language. Put them in my bag." I didn't even ask the price, and then I looked at the tab at the end of it. It was $4,000. That was a fucking rock.
This is like that's like on American Dad when was it Stan got a credit card limitless for the first time and just started swiping on literally everything he saw. But for you, it's just dice.
Oh yeah, that 100%. That's what it is, and that proceeded to like repeat itself several times over years. And I've always worked with Level Up Dice. Their crew has been wonderful. They're the most expensive dice I've ever fucking bought.
I mean, you just said they found them from like this one lake in Russia that no one else has.
The owner goes and he finds like super specific stuff, or like if I give him a rock and tell him to make dice, he'll make dice. I've actually gotten 3 or 4 custom sets from him specifically, and I always give a rock big enough where he can make 3 or 4 sets, and he gives me a set for free because then he goes and sells the other set to other people who are buying. So I get lucky.
All right, well, here's the dice
Nice.
on stream for anyone who wants to see those.
Yeah.
They absolutely are themed, just like the Pony Cum Jar project.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which one? Okay, so wait, the one on the bottom left. Which pony is that?
The D12, that is Nurse Redheart.
That's Nurse Redheart. Okay, who's on the D100?
The 10's 10. Hold on, let me pull it one out again. Pretty sure that's. It's kind of hard to see
because I see a Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash. I'm assuming that's Pinkie Pie. We have Rarity down there.
It's Twilight. It's Twilight.
Oh, that's Applejack at the top right. Fluttershy, Twilight. Okay, and then the bottom left you said is Nurse Redheart. What did Nurse Redheart deserve to? What did she do to deserve to be lost in the sauce?
So the dice maker asked me, "Hey, there's seven of them, and I've only got 6 horses. Who do you want in the last one? I'll draw it real quick and put it in there." So I go to my friend my artist friend read the bat, and I'm like, hey, who's your favorite horse? And she's like, oh, I love Nurse Redheart. I'm like, good. I'm doing a cursed project, and they're like, oh god. And then this is the result. So there is Nurse Redheart in a cum filled D12 because they asked a question, and they are now suffering for this knowledge.
So I'm
Why are you
actually
like
curious. I have a question.
Yeah,
What actually is inside of the dice to make it look like that? Did they tell you the material that it's made with? Like,
it's not cum.
okay, I know it's not cum. What did they do to make it look like it though?
I don't know what dice makers use, but like there is.
It might just be glue, realistically. I mean, because there's clear glue.
I don't think it's glue.
I mean,
it's like some sort of particulate they have. Probably. I gotta go look at it.
Manufacturers do lie sometimes, so maybe it is cum.
I got that because the manufacturer was a lady. I mean,
You don't know her. You don't know her.
That's true. She couldn't just collect the stuff, but if I remember right, it was just some sort of like yellowed batting material, like paper, basically. Because the way she made them is that there is a core with the pony in it, and then that core has that filling in it, but then there's an outer clear layer where there isn't any of that. So it's probably just like a yellowed paper or whatever.
You know,
I'm sorry.
Milk has the most fucked up things. Recently, he sent me. He told me he collects mugs. So I was at work. I was like, oh yeah, go ahead and show me a picture of the mug you're drinking from right now. So he did. And I didn't notice anything awry because I'm looking at it on my phone screen, so it's kind of small. I'm not zoomed in or anything. And I'm like, oh shit, there's like a bunch of flowers and pretty flora all over this. It's like really nice. I really like this mug. I'm gonna buy this. And then he says something like, oh hell yeah. And then 5 minutes goes by and I'm like, man, I want to look at this mug again real close like. So I opened it up and I zoomed in and I noticed that it wasn't flowers. They were all penises. Every single one was a penis. He just posted it in the Discord. I'm not pulling it up on stream, but he put it in the Discord there. They're all penises.
Yeah, they're all. They were super subtle. The only reason I saw that was because my friend was at a thrift store and saw one hanging up on a thing, and they're like, "Oh shit, this would be a thing that Milk would like." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I need to find that." And of course, I just do some basic googling, and it pops up on Amazon for like 20 fucking bucks, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna just buy this. I'm gonna do it." So now I have a dick mug.
I almost bought that on the spot. Thank God I didn't, because if that had arrived, my family would have questions when they saw that.
Oh yeah, that's it's absolutely fucking stuff.
Oh yeah, Alex says to post it. He just posted in the Barcast. Do you have a channel in the Snarkcast you can put it in?
I have an NSFW channel. He can post it there.
Well,
I'm just gonna put it in Barcast general.
Yeah. Also,
in general.
Very.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Where is your NSFW channel?
Oh,
should I put it in porn or gay porn or furry porn? Which feels more appropriate, honestly?
All of it.
I think gay porn will probably be the one. That's where I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, gay porn definitely.
There's nothing.
Yes. I'm very sorry, but Seven, that discussion just gave me the idea for an emo and edgy fic, where a couple walks into a sperm bank thinking it's a yogurt shop.
Oh no.
You know what must be done.
I'm gonna quickly do something, by the way, on the stream here. Give me 1 sec. Hold on.
Okay.
This is rather important.
I sent this podcast to my dad. I don't know if that was a good idea.
There we go. Okay, so I pulled it up on stream. Let me zoom in on this conversation so you guys can see that I'm not BSing. This actually did happen. This is how I found out.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Somebody out there with a really good monitor can make out what that is.
It definitely says the word penis on there. That's how you know.
Yes.
Man, that was a fucking ride when I got that. That was hilarious. And I was showing everybody in the office. They all fucking laughed at it.
Yeah.
Muggany, be sure to thank Empty Plot Filler for the gift sub that you just received, by the way.
That's or did I receive one? Because it is
Yeah,
usually
they assigned it to you. They gave it to you.
Oh, thank you, Empty Plotfield. Thank you. That was nice of you.
Thank you for the gift sub. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back to Hans real quick. All right, we have Hans back, ladies and gentlemen. Very important.
Hans. Okay, pulling up my questions. Okay, okay, going back to the Barcast. What is the what do you want to say the difference was between the beginning of the Barcast and its ending?
In the beginning, we were still really trying to find our audience, our footing. We were trying to nail down as many things as we could to consolidate all of the stuff that had to be consolidated in terms of like finding guests, who would handle that, who would be the voice on the show, who would be sort of our public outreach kind of person, who would be responsible for saying about stuff. By the end of it, we were pretty much all set in our roles and we knew what to do. Everybody had their niche thing to do. I was handling guests and some posts and just being there to record. Priest and Pencil did great as hosts. Enigma, Flam, Rav were fucking perfect when it came to dealing with Discord stuff and also being the secondary people to like jump into a conversation or be there when Priest needed to step away from the microphone. You know, I mean, every person had like we all had multiple roles that interjected each other, but everybody had one role that really shined with them. You know.
Hmm, interesting. Would you say there was like anything that is there anything that jumps out about the rules as time went on? Like, they just got better. I guess like a good way to frame the question would be, how much improvement did you see over the course of 8 years?
Oh, tons of it because Priest and Pencil, once they got into the swing of it, they were able to fucking roll with even the worst of situations and maintain perfect professionalism when it was absolutely necessary to deal with. We dealt with a lot of different like stuff from conventions where we needed to have a voice of reason, and I was definitely not it because I was like hot headed as fuck, but I let Priest and Pencil handle a lot of that stuff. They were perfect for public relations, honestly. Um, you know, I when it was guest time where I had to go get guests, I was super nervous about contacting people because I thought I was being a bother or they were just gonna brush me off. But turns out if you treat people like they're just people, you can absolutely just roll into whoever's DMs and be like, "Hey, I'm doing a thing. I'd like to involve you in this thing. Would you mind coming by at some time?" You know, and then just working from there. That's what got us
Nice.
guests like Boris from 4chan, the announcer for the 4chan Cups, or some of the VAs where we got into them for the press release stuff or the press. They gave us, I don't know what it's called. They gave us a press badge. They told us go in this room and interview these show
Yeah,
people.
I remember those. You interviewed them at conventions.
Yeah, but like I was the one who had to do a lot of paperwork. I had to sign a whole bunch of shit. I had to have some sort of communication back and forth between the VAs and their agents or whatever, or their handlers, and be like, "Hey, this is what we do. What do you think? Is there anything we need to change when we do this, or are you guys cool with it?" Most of them didn't have anything special. I think the only change we really had to do was like when John Delancey showed up. He's like, "I don't want any cameras," so we just did an audio recording, which I don't know if we ever posted. Somewhere out there is a recording of us talking to him about Star Trek and stuff.
John
That sounds
Delancey.
amazing. Yeah,
John
John.
Delancey, yes sir.
I think that is on the Barcast YouTube. I remember stumbling on it.
Either the YouTube or the SoundCloud. I think it might be on the SoundCloud because again we didn't have any video of it.
Yeah.
We just did a general roll of it, and we had a non pencil do the actual interview for John Delancey. She knew a whole lot about Star Trek. She was able to just roll the questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was the reason I got
Nice.
into the show originally because I liked season one. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun season, but I could have left at any point, and it would have just been another cartoon that I watched. But I got to the season two premiere, and I could kind of tell that I recognized his voice when he was like talking in the stained glass windows. But then when he actually talked, when he appeared outside of the maze, I was like, "That's John fucking Delancey," and I got so into it because I was like, "It's Q, it's Q." And then I found out that the backstory for that was, they wanted a Q impersonator. So then one of the people working for the studio went behind their back and was like, "Oh well, I'll just send this script out to John Delancey's agent. Who knows? Maybe he'll actually appear." And apparently, his agent knew it was MLP but didn't tell him if the stories are true. And he was like, "Hey, just read this and tell me if this looks interesting." And he's like, "Yeah, it looks interesting." And then he came into the studio, recorded like for 10, 15 minutes. He said he wasn't there too long. It was like an hour or two actually, but and then he didn't realize it was MLP until later because he said he was at like conventions and randomly people would come up and just start asking him about MLP and he'd be like, what the hell is going on right now? Why are you this is a Star Trek convention. What are you talking about? And that's how he found out.
Props to that agent. Like the agent knew he was working with good shit. He just didn't know how to break it to John Delancey.
I feel like he would have done it anyways. John Delancey is a very cool dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. My only familiar with him is that and some episodes in Breaking Bad. I know he's
oh
from
yeah. He played the father of Jesse's druggy girlfriend.
girlfriend. Yeah, Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane. Yeah. Yeah. No, he was incredible in that role.
Yes, I did have a question that with that, but I forgot about it, so I'm just going to the Google Doc. Um. Oh yeah, I do remember it. Okay, it kind of okay. So the question on the Google Doc kind of correlates with the question I came up with. The question on the Google Doc is, how did you meet the other barcasters? The question I came up with is, was there ever any discussion about who would be on the podcast? And between the podcast starting and the podcast ending, who really stuck around? If there was ever anybody else on it?
So that's it's a bit of a long-winded one, but I'll try to condense it just a little bit here. So when I started the cast, it was pretty much Rav and a handful of people who were all hanging out. Carrier, Wilkie Sheeps, I think was another one, and they've changed their name a handful. I just call them Buggo because their whole thing was change-ins. They stuck around for like a good portion of the first couple years, and they were good friends to have around for the cast. They didn't talk too much on the show, so they were kind of like just bodies there. But then we interviewed Priest and Pencil, and I remember after the show, they came up to they hit me up in DM. They're like, "Hey, we really like this thing you're doing. We want to stick around and do some more stuff. Can we get into it?" And I'm like, at the time, I'll just say yes to anything for that shit. So they just stayed. Basically, they walked in, kicked the door open, sat down, and didn't leave. So I had Rad from the beginning, and then Pencil and Priest showed up, and then we gained Enigma after his duo cast, who said, "Okay, we like your banter with everybody. We're keeping you." And then the same thing for Flam. When he showed up, he had really good banter with the crew, and we just decided to roll with it and keep him, and that was just what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah, they just showed up. We kept them, or they stayed, didn't leave. I think partway through it, Pencil's like, "Okay, we've got 20 people on the show as hosts. We need to cut this down to like, 6 or 8 people." And I said, "Okay, let's do 6 to keep it minimal." And I picked those 6 people, myself included, those 5 others, as the main cast crew.
You selfish asshole.
I try to be. Obviously, I've got to be there. It's my fucking show.
He doesn't fucking talk.
That's damn right. I'm there to drink and look good. I'm not.
Honestly, I'm still mad that you guys never promoted Alex past intern. I mean, he should have become he could have been a full-time member. There was a distinct lack of British on the show,
I don't think we ever thought about adding anybody else. I think maybe one time I was like, "Hey, I really like this person. I like the banner that they have with us. Can we ask them to stay with us for a little while?" And like everybody's like, "No, let's keep it 6 people because that's the formula that worked." So there were attempts at times to do that, but it never really panned out to us getting more people.
No, I get that. Like my friends and I, we just do a music book club thing, which Hogany knows about, and
yes,
I mean it's hard to convince them to let other people in because once you get a real good chemistry going between the people there, it's really difficult to add someone new into the fold and keep that chemistry moving forward. It can definitely be awkward,
Yeah.
regardless of how well one person meshes with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did talk to Missy about that. That was her biggest concern.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
tough thing. But I mean, 6 people. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that you guys made 6 people work. I mean, I've seen a lot of shows on the radio that struggle with like, 3 or 4 people. 6 people, and you guys did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Part of it is that we all really worked well together with each other, and it was just something like we all fit into individual roles that didn't really overlap too hard to the point where we were struggling to like fight over positions and stuff. We knew where everybody was going to be, what everybody was going to do, and how everybody was going to interact, basically. So it was really easy for us to
Yeah.
come together as a group and make it work.
Empty
It was
plot filler made a good point, by the way. Thank you for the gift sub. That you guys had to stay the main 6. But see, my counter to that is you guys lasted about 10 years if you include the Good HIE podcast. The show lasted about 10 years. Why didn't you add a fucking Starlight in like year 5? Why didn't you add a 7th character?
yeah.
You should have had someone on the podcast that was just the worst interviewee you've ever had, that pissed everybody off and made everyone really mad. And then just to piss them off even more, you bring them back for 4 more seasons.
Oh
It
Lord.
could have been me.
Well, hold on. Let me look at the guest list again here, because like I gotta look at the timeline. So our guest list goes back as far as 2016 when we actually started tracking, but we were doing stuff in late 2015, and we did the changeover in 2008. So I guess technically year 4 we tried. Year 4 somebody tried to show up and stay on the cast, and we had to fucking kill that and go off on our own thing. So maybe you could count that as an attempt. But
Oh yeah, the good HIE one. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that could kind of count. That could kind of count. But instead of being Starlight, they were like Cozy Glow. No one wanted them.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
By the way, shout out to Enigma, one of the barcasters. I see he's in Twitch chat. He's been in there for a while. I'm just now shouting him out.
yeah, I'm watching him react to some of the stuff. It's kind of funny. I don't care what he says about the fucking name of the name of the show. He says he's been Mandela affected. I don't think he ever had these suggestions. That's far too smart for him to.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say no. Going back to what you were saying about getting all the podcast members together, it was really lightning in a bottle, because you had all these people, this group of friends whose all their personalities meshed really well, and usually it's that's easy to come by when it's just 2 people, but when it's an entire group, it's kind of as rare as a shiny Pokemon, I want to say. Because each of them have their designated roles. They know what their roles are in the podcast. They're not trying to one up each other, and at the same time, they are all the same in their own unique way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's what really lended itself to our show, is that each person was an individual that knew how to interact and work around with 6 people, and there wasn't any actual fighting. We just made it work. We just made it work.
And I want to say you all ruined each other.
Yeah, probably. There was definitely a lot of like mixing and melding of our mentalities between each other. Like we're definitely completely fucking screwed.
I've observed that based on everything you guys have written.
Oh my lord! The shit that we like, whenever we collaborate on stuff and there's a big group effort for it, it's a fucking shit post. Like if you look back, there was one time where we were at BabsCon and we wrote the Adventures of J. Edgar Hoover, and that whole thing was written where each person had 1-word contributions for the lines. Each person would give 1 word and we'd go until the end, and it would just be a shit show.
Is that available for viewing?
I think it's on Priest's account. I'm not too sure.
Oh, it's on Priest's. Okay.
Yeah, you have to look at Priest's account, because when we did that, you weren't allowed to have a share account. So Priest was the one who bit the bullet and took it, because it was pretty fucking wild.
So Mugany,
What?
we're about an hour in. Is it time?
It is time.
All right. Okay.
You may ask your questions.
All right. So, this is our first show, everyone. So I'm going to be trying to do a segment that I call Lucky Sevens, Unlucky 13, where I ask 13 questions and kind of shotgun them, Barcast style. Thank you for the inspiration there, Milk, and I guess Muggany, because you were one of the people who asked a question like every single week that show was active.
Yeah.
But I decided to go ahead and implement that, and Muggany said it was cool, so we're going to do that. This is Lucky Sevens, Unlucky 13, so I have 13 questions for you, Milk. Now, I'm actually, this time I'm cheating. I'm going to start off with a different one, so there's technically going to be 14, but this is one that I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if Muggany has on his list. But what was your favorite spin-off series of the Barcast? You know how there was like Screaming Closet, Shitface, what was your favorite one?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of each of them. I like everybody's individual take on what they want to do. I think Mugshots.
Mugshots.
Mugshots was probably one of my favorite ones because, like, I've always enjoyed the process of watching art being made.
And Rav is such a talented artist.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, he is a top tier artist right off the bat. That was great. Pencil and Priest, their Screaming Closet stuff, which they still plan to do more of, was great because they work great together, and having horror games go was just fucking. There was Writer's Workshop that me and Priest did for a little while.
I remember that. Yeah, that was early on. I remember that though.
Priest did a lot of the heavy lifting on that one because I was still trying to figure out how to just exist as it stuff.
Yeah,
so
and
I felt pretty bad about having him do all the work for it. I was there for morals.
No, it's funny. Like Alex just said, there was him, Enigma, and Tony who weren't artists just chilling on the mugshots. I used to be on a podcast a decade ago, and one of the viewers here, Geo, might remember it, but it's been so long, who knows? But it was called Radio is Magic, which, God, I'm mad that name got taken because that's actually a really good name. Though we're not entirely pony themed, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had an art podcast, and that was one of the two I was on, and I always felt a little out of place. I was just there for moral support for my friend Layla while she would draw. She was like the Rav of that show. She was the host, and we would like critique art and watch her draw art at the same time. It was nice, but I definitely felt a bit out of place. But my favorite was Shitfix because, I mean, you guys read like 3 emo and edgy stories. You even read one of them live at a panel, so that was cool.
Oh God.
Oh man!
Thank you for the subscription, Empty Plot Filler. Now it's time for the actual 13 questions.
Yes.
So first question. What year did you get into MLP? And did you get into the fandom at the same time, or did that take longer?
God, when did I get into that? It was a whole depression arc that I'm still dealing with that. But like in the time, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was working as a janitor for school, and I was messing around with friends. They're like linking me these things. I was making fun of being part of the MLP fandom. But then I found the porn, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. I like what they're doing with this white horse with the red eyes. So that was the first one I ever got into. But then I found the fan fiction. Yeah, no, I got into the fandom because of porn. 100%. It was porn.
Okay.
Hey, no shame. No shame.
I think that was...
Okay, no shame.
Yeah, it was 2013 when I got into the fandom as a content viewer. Watched the porn. I started reading this. Yeah, content viewer. I started reading the stories and stuff because, like, oh, okay, there's fan fiction porn. I'm gonna read some of those and see how those go. But then I realized, oh man, some of these people have some really fucking good writing. I kind of want to read more about their characters. So I started going through a lot of stories, and like, I would just check out when I go to fucking do janitor stuff. I'm walking with my phone basically in my face as I'm reading and sweeping floors and, cleaning the cafeteria. I've got fucking thousands of words a night. Just I'm reading along, So that was a big thing. I just got super into reading stuff. That's when I started making friends with some of the people because I would message them and be like, hey, I really like what you did with the story here. Oh, I loved your character, your blah, blah, blah. And that's when I met like Sir Hat. And I was working with him for a while where I was also like a pre-reader. I was fucking god awful at it, but I was really happy that he let me do the process with and stuff. That was cool.
Yes. Also, to people in the chat, before I ask the next question, I did disable ads. I don't know if you have to refresh to get rid of them, but go ahead and try that. Twitch sucks and puts like 6 minutes by default or something crazy per hour, which is just insane. Sorry about that. Question 2. What was the first episode you recall watching that left you amazed by the time it was done?
I don't think I ever really liked the show. I'll be honest with you. I watched it. It was something to watch, and I'm just a content head where I'll just watch whatever's in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I was ever really wowed by any of the episodes, and I couldn't honestly recall the details of any of the episodes specifically. But it was just something I watched that had people associated with it that I liked, so I was there to hang out with friends more or less.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
So you're more invested in the porn than the actual show.
Absolutely, I am there for.
I
You're
mean,
I am there for
content
Tony Butthole,
viewer.
and that's it. I am a
Content viewer is the nicer way of explaining it. Yes.
I am a content viewer.
that's me with Overwatch. I can't even lie. So, I mean, hey, is what it is. All right. Question 3. Did you have a favorite main character out of the main 6? And I'll include 7 for Starlight. Is there anyone that you liked while you were watching more than anyone else?
None of the main 6. I think I felt like I had some sort of connection with like Applejack or Rainbow Dash just because I felt like.
Oh, so you like the background character, Applejack?
Yeah, pretty much. She was the best background pony ever. I
Yeah.
felt like I felt like I had some sort of connection with her because she's about hard work and doing stuff, and I'm doing hard work and labor and stuff, and I feel like, oh, this is the horse for me. This is my horse. But really, it was like Rainbow Dash was just the one because gay. There was colors. And
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
Colors. My first profile picture on Film Fiction was actually just a picture of Rainbow Dash in a leather jacket with a guitar just playing.
Oh god, yeah. Mine was one of those like vectors where it was like her but neon color with like the rainbow behind her. God.
Oh yeah. That was where I was at.
Yeah.
And then the next one was just Rainbow Dash with a bowl of cereal in front of her that had set fire.
All right. Same question, but villain. Who was your favorite villain in the show?
Ooh.
There's a lot of good choices.
Yeah, I know. I have to think about that one. God,
like this is one of the few shows where I think every villain had something going for them. Because like there are a lot of shows, even ones that I love, where some of the villains I'm like, well, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, I don't think I could really pick a villain. I guess I kind of like Sombra. He was an actual villain, wanted to kill people, so that was like a thing.
That's true. He did definitely want to kill people.
And they killed him, so like that was an actual death on screen. So
that's cool. True. Yeah, and yeah, he's actually gone now.
Yeah, so. He's dead. So I thought that was cool. So I'll pick him as my favorite because he got killed.
Okay. So this question is, I'm gonna have to ask that you exclude the Barcast members or anyone like Alex or Tony from this question. Have you made any lifelong friends through the fandom?
Oh man, absolutely. That's where I met Snoo. That's where I've met the whole Barcast crew. They're friends, ride or die immediately. You, Muggany, all the people I've met through MLP are people I would ride or die with, like straight up take a bullet for. And obviously Snoo, I've dated Snoo.
I know who to travel with next time I'm walking into the city. Thank you, Milk.
Yeah, dude, if you're rolling through Ohio and Columbus area, I will absolutely take you to some fucking baller places for some great food, and we will hang out for a day. So you let me know when you're.
Yeah.
We'll do.
And that way, look, and that way, look. If anyone tries to shoot you, Milk can just jump in the way, and it's instantly a hate crime. So you're all good. You're off the hook.
Absolutely, it's a hate crime to shoot me, especially this month. I am too fucking gay.
Yeah.
That's true. We're at the start of the month. You're gaining. You're gaining power.
Just wait until July 1st to shoot him.
Yeah, then it's not a hate crime because I'm too straight, honestly.
Yeah.
I've had people call me, "Oh, you don't look gay. You're too straight acting for you to be gay." I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess all the fucking rainbow bracelets."
That's such a. It's such a silly thing to say. What?
That's just.
Have they ever seen
I-
Have they ever seen like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? Most of the people on that show were actually straight, but they act really gay. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah, they're
act
just
how you want.
It's like I don't know it, but that's just construction. You
I-
get a lot of people who are just super like uncomfortable with that thing. And
Yeah,
like,
they're
oh,
superficial.
yeah.
I've seen you in real life. You look more like a failed cowboy.
Honestly, that's I've been told either like failed cowboy, lumberjack, or just some normal fucking dude who just got lost on his way to another convention.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, next
I
question.
do try to get up. I
Oh,
do wear
go ahead.
rings and bracelets and shit. No.
Oh no, yeah. So question 5. This was going to open with if you have been to any conventions, but Lord knows you've been to like 100. So, what was your favorite convention and the year of it, and why?
Oh man, I gotta remember the fucking year too.
Okay, if you can't remember the year, just give like a vague time period, I guess.
No. I'm just being a piece of shit. It was 2018 BabsCon, 100%. That was when we first got community guests. We got press badges. They rolled out the fucking red carpet for all of their community guests, and it felt amazing to actually be there because all the other years were fucking shit. We so we go to 2018 BabsCon. Friday, we get told that, oh, here's your badges, here's your press stuff, here's your guest list and all this stuff. Here's where we need you to be to meet your fans. And we're like, we don't have fans really, so we're not expecting anybody. But they're like, oh yeah, but people have already signed up to meet you. And we're like, well, that's
Oh.
So there's a thing on some of the atrium level rooms. They have like a little side conference room with like couches and shit. And we're like, oh, okay, that's where we got to be. So they bring us in. We sit down and we're talking with the room guest host person, whoever is basically holding on to us as a panel, Nan from BabsCon. And she gave us coffee and drinks and all sorts of stuff. And we had like 20 minutes before setup. I'm bringing up bottles of booze because if we're doing this, it's 9 a.m. I'm going to get fucking drunk and we're going to talk.
Hey, it's never too early. There's coffee flavored booze for a reason.
Now that I think it's probably 2017 because 2018 was HRPC. That was a memory. But regardless, people came. There was a ton of people who just showed up, and we had no idea that they were even aware of us. But they started asking questions. We signed some autographs. They were like basically like another interview. We were basically just getting a whole bunch of questions. It was really cool to get. We weren't expecting it. And then I'm trying to think. Like right after that, that's when we did all the interviews with the guests, and we had.
Did you get a Saturday panel?
Yeah, we had a Saturday night panel because it was Saturday air quotes because it was 2 a.m. when we.
I mean, it has to be for the kind of stuff you guys would do. That's the late night stuff.
We were considered late night, but late night starts at 8, and we got the 2 o'clock slot. So
yeah, because that's adults only, right?
Yeah, more or less adults only. You have to have an ID to get.
Yeah.
So, that's where we started doing our stuff, and 2 o'clock in the morning was a fucking mess for me because out in California, 2 o'clock is 5 o'clock for me.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm in Florida. If it's 5 a.m., dude, I'd be dying.
Oh my god,
I used to be able to do that, but nowadays I can't pull an all-nighter. By like 3 a.m., I'm wheezing and coughing and ready to die.
Big mood right
yeah.
now, honestly. It is a fucking ride at that.
Hi, Vylon. Vylon's in the chat.
Oh, I love Vylon.
Vylon!
It's so nice to see her.
I'm glad Vylon could be here.
she is absolutely another person I would say my life is better for having known her and been around and having conversations with her. She lives in a totally different country, but if she ever came through, my area and whatever, I would absolutely take her out for a day of fun. 100%.
Nice.
Sorry, I respond to chat real quick. Opium, what's funny is I actually moved from Florida to the Midwest because I lived in Arkansas for a bit, Northwest Arkansas for like 6 years. So I was right there with you. I actually just moved back here last year and I missed it too. So, but question 6 for you, Milk.
Yeah.
This is a 2-part question. What's your favorite fanfic?
Oh, fuck.
It can be MLP or non-MLP.
Oh, I've already got it in my head. It's Taste of the Good Life by Eakin. Eakin.
Oh, Eakin was awesome.
Yes, I love.
Yeah, you don't have to spell their name. I remember Eakin.
they were one of the people I was desperately wanting to interview, but they always turned us down. And I was like, oh my God, please, I want to ask you about this fucking story because I need more of it. So basically, to set it to line, it's basically Scootaloo is an orphan. She gets taken in by an OC pony who is a chef, and he's running a store, and he's adopted this person, and he's met up with some other lady, and he's starting to deal with relations there. The whole fucking 9 yards of family drama. I want more of it, and never wrote more of it, so I suffered greatly.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. They wrote one of the most popular stories of all time, Hard Reset. I mean, if you were around on FimFic in 2012, 2013, you know what Hard Reset is because that thing was a prominent story. And it was like
It was number one.
it was one of the first really, really big changeling stories on the website too, if I recall.
I honestly never read
it. Was it was number one for a long time too.
It was, yeah. I think it ended up getting beaten eventually by Sunny Skies All Day Long, and then that one fell. People just downvote Fix for no reason. I hate it.
I read Sunny Days. That was a good story.
Yeah, but, that's the only one I think could be an actual episode, like straight up.
Ekin was like the one story I genuinely, absolutely fucking love that story, and I think I was the only one I actually read from them. But that's immediate callback.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
And Gio in the chat remembered it. So, part 2 of this question: what's your favorite fandom song?
Ooh, I was never big into the fandom songs, but I do have one in mind, and it's dumb because the guy got busted for pedophilia. He's in jail, the whole thing. If you remember the name Mando Pony.
Oh, of course. I knew you were going to say that when you said pedophile.
I feel so awful.
I almost said it, but I was like, maybe it's someone else.
I don't remember the name of the song, but it was a whole thing about Applejack and the barn and all sorts of stuff. I loved it. I listened to it all the fucking.
You shouldn't feel awkward because his music was really good. Look, I'm gonna quickly quote a comedy act from Dave Chappelle way back in the day, where he talked about he was in a diner and O.J. Simpson walked in, and this was like right after the trial, so he had just been acquitted, right? Yeah. And he's like super excited because he always wanted to meet O.J. Simpson, and O.J. Simpson recognized him and walked over and shook his hand. And then when he walked away, Dave Chappelle's PR lady was like, "He's a murderer," and Dave apparently he goes, "Cheryl, with all due respect, that murderer ran for 11,000 yards."
No, I know which special you're talking about.
There's nothing wrong with liking Mando Pony's music. You can absolutely separate the creator from the creation. I mean, look at how many people still love Michael Jackson's music after everything that he went through.
I like Roman Polanski movies, and I think the dude should go to prison.
Oh yeah.
Mood. But
yeah, definitely.
There are so many wonderful artists out there right now. I mean, I feel like a lot of the fandom music right now leans really hard into techno, EDM.
100%.
Drum and bass stuff. And there's some wonderful fucking artists like Eurobeat Brony or Trey Husk, who's getting into the scene for both furry and pony. Honestly, if you just show up to a convention and go to a late night music parties, you're gonna hear some fucking amazing straight up.
You know who I DM'd on Twitter? I never expected a response, but they actually responded to me telling me they're making new music. And that's Wooden Toaster. And I was so happy to hear that. Because good Lord, I love Wooden Toaster. That is they are my favorite Brony musician. Yeah. But yeah, I messaged them on Twitter and they DM'd me back and said they were working on some new stuff. And I was like, oh my God.
No,
that's a name I haven't heard in years.
They were picked up by an actual like record label company. They're like a legit. I don't mean like they're not a legitimate, but like they picked up legitimate music work where they're getting paid to do this stuff where like other people.
Good for them.
Yeah, the biggest one is the Living Tombstone that he got.
I knew you were going to mention.
Oh, he got massive.
I knew he was going to be brought up.
Yeah, no. I mean, he has an actual deal now. I mean, Alex S ended up getting a deal.
Didn't they use this music in the Five Nights at Freddy movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure did.
Nice. And then Matt Pat was in there, and he says, "It's just a theory." Actual line.
All right.
I feel like I'm glad I didn't watch that movie.
It was a terrible movie. I hated that movie. I watched it just a couple of months ago with some friends for the eclipse or whatever that were over. We watched it. I'm like, what the fuck is this garbage ass movie? And then it turns out they're making a number 2 for it. I'm just like,
What was it? Which movie?
Oh,
Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh no, it's terrible.
No,
fuck. You want to hear the biggest crime the movie committed? Okay, for the animatronics, the studio actually went through Jim Henson's company, and they CGI'd over the animatronics.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they had a big opportunity there to make the animatronics look really good, and it just went to waste.
All right. Well, you know what? Before we get too angry about that, I'm going to move on to question 7 here.
Okay.
So question 7. What is your least favorite television show or movie of all time?
My least favorite movie is The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, so you actually watched it?
Fucking Priest and Pencil subjected me to that absolute fucking garbage. I feel like I sat down and watched it and lost all of my brain cells, and now I am the result of that movie.
You did not. You did not lose your brain cells.
Oh my god!
You did not.
I literally thought that was the worst movie I've ever had to sit. I did not think any of it was funny. They loved it because Goofy Man does funny thing, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Milk.
Oh.
You know, that movie's terrible, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You need to watch Birdemic if you think that movie was hard to sit through.
You need to watch. Okay, there's a new one. There's a new person who's famous for making bad movies. He's the guy who's in right now. You gotta watch a Neil Breen movie.
A what movie?
What?
A Neil Breen movie. He's the new Tommy Wiseau, and the difference between him and Tommy Wiseau is his movies are 10 times better, and even after he became a big hit for making really bad movies, his quality is still consistent because he is that pretentious.
Good.
He is amazing. There are people cheering for him in theaters, and he's winning. He's actually winning awards at festivals. That is where his career is at right now, and I'm very happy for him.
I mean, it's like the Sharknado people, the Asylum. Like, they make movies that are terrible, but everyone expects it and cheers for it now.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. What season do you think was the peak of the show?
2 or 3. I didn't watch past 5, so.
What the fuck?
I stopped watching the show after 5.
You didn't watch all the Starlight seasons?
No, I fucking hate Starlight and everything after.
You're such a stupid dickhead.
Garbage.
You're such an asshole. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Starlight's the best.
You can't.
I'm kicking you from this call.
I got to meet Kelly Sheridan, and she was super nice. You be nice to her.
Oh, she's an absolutely beautiful person, wonderful personality. Fuck the character. You couldn't pay me to like.
Okay, you know what's funny? So this isn't Kelly Sheridan, but we were at the last BronyCon, as you can recall. All of us were, if I recall.
Yeah.
And I was one of the people on the second day, on Saturday. I wanted to go and get. Actually, technically, that was the third day because it was a 4-day con. It started on Thursday. But anyways, on Saturday, I had already spent most of my merch money. God, that's a sour taste in my mouth because of what I spent it on. But anyways, moving on. Hey, I got the pear butter plush though. I have that at least. Not the one I'm about to tell you about. But anyways, for my ex-wife, I got a Sugar Bell plush. So I went into Rebecca Choquette's line, and I was the only person in a line of like 300 fucking people that had anything that wasn't Sunset Shimmer. I could not believe it. I was like, there was literally no other Sugar Bell stuff in that entire line. Everyone was there for Sunset. And when I got there with the little Sugar Bell plush, she goes, "Oh my God, you're the first person this whole weekend to bring a Sugar Bell thing. This is so cute." And I was like, "Yeah, it's for my wife." And she goes, "Oh, you're such a good hubby." And then she signed it, and I took a picture with her, which I still have. She was super nice. God, I wish I'd gotten that signed for me instead. But anyways. But yeah, no, I just found it funny. Like, I actually always thought her best voice was Sugar Bell, and everyone just loves her for Sunset, and I get it. Sunset's the star of Equestria Girls, but like Sugar Bell's so cute, man.
I love all the show VAs. Of all the ones I've interacted with, they're all pretty fucking amazing. Honestly.
Enigma, I also got yelled at by Starlight's voice actress. I didn't ask for it, but she could tell I was nervous, so she did the quiet thing, and it made me laugh really loud. And then she put it on the poster, which actually, hold on, I think I have this. Give me a sec. I can pull it up on stream real quick. One sec. Oh, I don't know. I made Hans smaller. Whatever.
No, Hans!
Yeah, there we go. Great to meet you, Andrew. Hans Kelly Sheridan. And then, yeah, she put P.S. Quiet Teehee. It's one of my favorite things. That's the only signed merch I have from the show. But good lord, meeting Kelly Sheridan was my favorite because Starlight's my favorite character. I don't care if people hate her. They suck. They're just jealous of how cool she is. Fuck you, Milk. You're an idiot.
I just remembered. I just looked up. We were talking about Fiora earlier, and I remember mentioning that she signed the book. I just realized that that book is right above my desk on this little shelf I keep other books on.
Aww.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually,
I also have the just real quick. I have a copy of Follow Equestria, the hardback cover, and what's really interesting about this cover is it contains the only story that KCAT considers canon, which happens to be an erotica. And what's funny about that is it's randomly inserted between two specific chapters. And I just pictured other people who haven't gone into Follow Equestria thinking, "Oh, this I should get the hardback at BronyCon because it'd be a good souvenir."
Oh,
And
did
then
she
they
put
read
it
the
in there?
story, and then just they put it in the book. And so I just pictured people who haven't read Follow Equestria before just grabbing the book because it's a good collector's item and wondering what the fuck is this because
Actually,
on dildo.
Actually, the better question is, what about the people who did read it and then buy the book and they're like, "What the fuck is this? This wasn't there."
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was really confused at first because Homage was wearing a dildo and Buck fucking Little Pip, and then I put it together. Oh, this is
What the
that
fuck?
thick.
All right. Well,
It was great.
I don't Milk.
Yeah.
Your whom's right there. You're as old as I am. Did you ever see the Demented cartoon movie?
Check my mic.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
32. I got
Oh,
you by 2 years.
You got me by 2 years. I swear, you sounded just like. There's these characters in that who just. There's this one dude in that who just goes, just the exact way you just did. He just,
Yes. Okay. I have seen. When I was in high school or grade school or whatever, me and my friends would turn it on the.
Geo just said the thing from it. Ziki Boogie Dude.
Yes,
now we're all gonna blow up.
That's how I know where it's from. That's all I needed to see to know where we were going.
Now we're all gonna blow up because of fucking Geo.
Absolutely aware of it. So.
All right. Number 9. I feel like I already know the answer to this because of your dumbass opinion from earlier. But anyways, what was more controversial in your opinion, Twi'lek or Starlight's Redemption?
Twi'lek was probably the biggest thing that they had going on. That
was cool.
That was the one everybody fucking fought over for like
years. Dude, that actually splintered. A lot of people actually left the website because of that.
Oh yeah,
gone.
Oh, yeah. It was so fucking stupid. People are dumb.
Yeah, it is. It's like you're really this mad over a fucking cartoon show about talking horses.
Yeah, I mean, they ignored they ignored what's her face's plan for the show. Oh, but she hasn't been working on the show since season 2, so like I don't give a fuck what her plan was.
You know what's funny too? It's like there's people online. I was on Reddit earlier, just post scrolling some of the cringe subreddits. There are people who have no idea what the hell they're talking about with this show too. Like someone was getting mad there was porn, and they're like, "Well, all the characters in the show are children." Like, okay, so tell me you've literally never watched the show without telling me, because that's all I needed to hear. Like,
they have a birthday episode which revealed that Rainbow was like estimated to be like 23, 24.
yeah, like I don't know. People online are just stupid as hell, regardless of if they watch the show or not. And the Twilight Corn thing was huge. I remember when that aired. I watched it in call with some friends. I think my friend Gio in chat was there. We were all happy with the episode. I mean, it wasn't the greatest episode, but it's a fun one, and it has good music. But god damn, her growing wings just pissed some grown men off for whatever reason. Like that was our Game of Thrones series finale. Like,
I don't know, man. It's just what it is. People were just stupid. They were to fight over stupid things.
It was planned from the beginning, from what I understood. I think
it was, yeah. No, Lauren Fowles did plan it, but look, they thought the show was going to get canceled, so they had to do it when they did. Whatever. Anyways, moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
Because these are supposed to be shotgun questions. Although I do love the conversation, of course. Okay. So I asked this question earlier, so I'm going to replace it with a different one, because this one was how does it feel to know you influenced and impacted so many people? So instead of that, I have a question for you. Mugany, so Pencil brought something up to us. Can I ask it here?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Unless it's one of the cringe questions.
No. If I recall, hold on. One sec. It had to do with like a stick. Was it a stick?
Oh my fucking god!
That's one of the cringe questions. Okay, so we answered the cringe question early. Thank you, Seven.
I'm sorry, but it's really funny, so I want to do it. I'm cringe, so it works. So let me ask this.
Fine.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. When you sent me this, I thought it was fake, because it's literally just like a South Park episode where they're playing Truth or Dare with Wendy and Bebe. So, what's the story of you sticking a stick up your urethra? Can you tell that?
It's not that I stuck a stick up my urethra. So okay, 2018 HRPC. That's like our peak fucking podcasting year. That's the convention reached out and said, "Hey, we want you at the convention. We're going to give you a panel at a good time. You're going to get free badges, and we're even going to give you a code that if people buy badges with it, they're going to get a % discount."
Ooh.
And we're like riding high on life with this shit. And we also got interviews with all of the HRPC staff, the top tier chair people, Charlie, Stargazer, and
I remember Stargazer.
Yeah, Stargazer was a really cool dude that we had on for HRPC. And then we had Vinyl Tactic, who's an amazing DJ now. I mean, we were all over the fucking place with these people, and we got Bill Newton to show up, and that was.
I remember that. That's the interview I was thinking of. You had the Bill Newton interview.
That was arguably one of our best interviews right there, because he was such a player with us. Like
I remember how proud you were when that happened too. You guys were so happy about that.
To have a show VA come on to an internet podcast like that was fucking amazing. We go out to Vegas, and I thought, man, I'm going to a pretty cool place, and my family, my mom is like, oh, I've always wanted to go back out to Vegas to do stuff. So I'm like, oh, genius fucking idea. How about you go with me, Mom? Go to the convention with me. Go hang out with all the weird horse people.
I'm scared that your mom's involved in this.
So she goes out, and we have a great fucking time. We're going to like Hell's Kitchen and getting pictures with the.
You went to Hell's Kitchen? Oh
we
man,
went to
I'm
Hell's
jealous.
Kitchen and took a picture with the Gordon Ramsay cutout, and the maitre d is the one from the show who came over and took our picture for us.
John Philippe? John Philippe?
I know that story.
John Philippe came out and took our picture with the cutout. We realized last couple weeks after looking back at some of the pictures that it was Jean Philippe, and we failed to go and get a picture with Jean Philippe. I feel horrible because Jean Philippe is so fucking cool.
I know,
and that won't happen now because And that won't happen now because now he's like one of the big people with the Gordon Ramsay restaurant group, so he's over in Europe.
Oh, absolutely. He's amazing. I would love to have the opportunity, but there's no way it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Anyway, we sit down to our panel, and we're all drunk. We got like yardsticks worth of booze from Fat Tuesdays. We're sitting down. We're a little bit sauced. We've been walking around in the heat all day. It's 110. The room is packed. All the chairs are filled. There's standing room in the back. 4chan people are there. A lot of our friends have sat down, and they've got good seats to sit down. My mom is sitting next to the only other older lady who's sitting there, and she's having the time of her life. She's got her glass of wine. Everybody's got a little bit of drink in them. We're going through stuff, and I think about halfway through the podcast, somebody asks, "Oh, do you have any embarrassing stories about your earlier years?" And Pencil is like, "Oh, well, we happen to have one of our podcasters' mothers with us. She could probably tell a really good story." We look out in the audience, and the two ladies, my mom and the other lady, are both staring back and forth at each other, waiting for somebody to stand up and claim the title as mother of a podcast. So my mom stands up. She says, "Hi, I'm Mama Milk, and I have a story about." That's what she told us to call her. That was on her badge too. She had that badge.
Oh, that's cute.
That's really adorable.
I have the best story to tell you. We were sitting in bed. Me and my husband were sitting in bed, and Milk calls out to me, "Mom, Mom, Mom! Somebody put a stick in my penis." And she says, "I ran into the room and was freaking out." And she's like, "No, honey, that's natural." It was the story of my first erection, and I was absolutely losing my fucking mind because I had no idea what was wrong with me. And that story has lived on forever. Everybody fucking has.
That's amazing.
I did not expect it to go here. I thought you actually stuck something in your urethra.
Nope. It was just the story of my first erection. That's all it was.
Alex says you were 24 at the time.
I was 24 at the time, and that was the story my mom chose to tell about me at this place. So.
Okay, I thought Alex meant you were 24 when you got your first erection. I was like, uh-oh.
No. I was like, I don't even know what age I was. What would be ever an appropriate age? Maybe like 7, 8, 9. It was so fucking long.
Oh, thank you for. Thank you for the 5 gift subs, empty plot filler. That really means a lot. Thank you. I didn't expect that.
That is the story. That is the story of my first erection and it being broadcast to a room of say 50 people. And we were also recording, so it was also going to the online community as well. And we were interviewing Whoopmaster as well, who was there answering.
She knew what she was doing.
she knew the assignment and she took it with golden grace. It was amazing.
Oh, so that's why you're like this.
Yes, that's also the same convention where we got invited to the presidential suite. We went up, and a bunch of our friends were like super high. We drank all the booze, and there was a stripper giving a guy a strip dance or a lap dance while everybody else was watching. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
Okay. Real quick before the next question, again, thank you very much, Empty Plot Filler, for the 5 gift subs. That really means a lot to me. I am just trying to stream, got started recently, so that means a lot. Next question, before I get emotional, because that means a lot. So, this is question 11. You are not allowed to cop out or refuse to answer. This is the one I told you about earlier.
All right. Fucking hit me with it. Let's go.
You have to rank the Barcast members, the other 5, from most fuckable to least fuckable to you personally. Now, I know Pencil's going to be at the bottom.
No, I put Pencil at the top, then Priest second.
Wait, actually?
No, yeah, you wanted a legitimate answer, so here you go. I'm drunk enough to give you a real legitimate answer.
Okay, cool.
Pencil's top, Priest is second, a Flam third.
Of course, Priest is bottom.
I mean, have you looked at his ass? It's kind of hot.
My assumption was Pencil would be at the bottom because you're gay, but what do I know? I guess.
Boy, gay is my cop-out answer. I'm technically pansexual. I don't care.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough then. That makes sense.
Hole is a hole. Hole is a goal for my poll.
So I have a chance with you.
Okay, so you said Pencil, Priest, who was number 3?
Flam. Flam is like, oh man, he is so fucking well dressed. He is,
and he's always got his hair slicked back real nice. He looks good.
Oof.
Yeah.
fucking Cuban daddy material.
I'd fuck
immediately.
him.
He's not from Cuba, but he's from another nation. And then Enigma, I'd go second because he wears a suit pretty good, and I kind of like the smaller guys like that. And then Rav would be last.
You like
That's
twinks?
Because yes, I do. I love twinks. So fucking, they're so great. But I would put Rav last, not because he's a bad looker. He's honestly very well put together.
He's very attractive, actually.
He's just too much like me. I wouldn't fuck me. I would
That's
be at
fair.
the bottom of the list. Me and
Rav-
he's a bro. He's
Rav pulls off the bald look in a way not many people can.
Oh man, you know what?
So-
He's got those piercings and stuff on his side.
Yeah,
All you have to do is put like one of those winter caps or whatever with the rims or whatever, like one of those Carhartts or whatever. Pop that on and put on a nice form-fitting t-shirt and a little overshirt, maybe like one of those cardigan sweaters with the hood on it, and then just a decent pair of long length pants. I think he'd fucking look great.
Dude, you know, fun fact, if you were to put the double rings on his chin, he would look like David Draymond, the singer from Disturbed. Like straight up.
So,
he's just got that look about it. He looks great. It's just not my desirable look.
Yeah.
quick interesting story about Rav. When I was at BurnCon 2019, and I am looking for the picture right now. I'm just looking through old Discord conversations because I remember seeing at one point. When I was in the Quills and Sofas Lounge, I was getting I was trying to get pictures of each of you, and I did not know how to operate the Nikon very well because it was in manual mode, or no, I think it was on automatic mode. But even though the room was well lit, the pictures were showing up dark for some reason, so I had to I had to edit them in Photoshop. The only photo that came up well lit was Rav's, and I was wondering why, but then I figured it out. The light of the room, the fluorescent lights were reflecting off his head and going into the camera, and that's why his was the only one that looks good.
Your shutter speed was too fast.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's Robbie hits, yeah.
I actually bought a Nikon a couple months ago, and I've been playing with lenses, and I've been learning a lot of stuff about cameras. So that's been my latest. So that's a whole thing.
Okay. All right. So for my next question, second to last, did you play PlayStation 1 at all?
Briefly, I maybe played one or two games on it, but never really got a chance to do anything really with it.
Okay, but have you ever played emulated PS1 or PS2 games?
No, I did have a PS2 when I was growing up, so I got to play like Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. So good. I have some questions for you. I have a question.
Yeah.
I need you to pick one game out of these three that I have decided are the best platformers for the PS1. This is factual. No one's allowed to argue with me. I'm the only person qualified to give this sort of opinion.
Okay.
So the top three platformers for the PS1 were Spyro. We're going series, by the way. Just Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and then Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Which of those three is your favorite? And this is, of course, if you've played them.
I never played Castlevania, but I got into Crash Bandicoot and Spyro for a little bit. But I really like Crash Bandicoot because it felt more me.
Okay. Alex is like, I could tell you some amazing trivia about Spyro. You're welcome for that trivia, Alex. I've streamed Spyro, and Alex has been like my co-host during it, and I like to say some fun facts about Spyro.
But I am uploading 2 photos to the Discord. One is of Chaps. I'm using that as an example of what the photos were coming out as, and the other is of Rav. I'm just waiting for them to load.
Man, I haven't seen Chapped in forever. I don't even remember what he looks like.
Well, skinny white.
Well, yeah, I know skinny white.
I
don't remember the face.
I just looked at a picture of it just now, and I forgot he was that hot. He looks like he'd be in a Disney Channel movie.
Gio, most people sucked at Crash Bandicoot. The first one was actually really fucking hard.
Honestly,
it was like
the fucking stupid ass bridge with the turtles. I hate that stupid level. Anyways, moving on to the last question.
Yeah.
You have to ask me and Muggany each a fandom related question. That is your challenge.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Time to cop out with this one. Muggany, which horse did you fuck?
Which horse would I fuck? Starlight Glimmer, of course.
Okay, Lucky, which horse would you fuck? But it has to be a male horse because
A male horse.
it has to be a male presenting horse. Which horse would you fuck?
Does it have to be a pony, or can it just be anyone from the show?
It could be any male character. I'll let you have that one as much.
Gallus.
Okay, booed. Very big mood.
Yeah. Aged up
Big
Gallus kind of hits different. You know, I've seen art of it. So, there's
Big
also
boobs,
Thorax.
Oh, so it can be any
Thorax.
creature.
Thorax can be anything you want. So actually, yeah, Thorax. Nah, that's a cop out answer. I'll stick with Gallus.
Yeah, there we go.
Ember is my scaly mommy.
Ember's your scaly mommy. You knew what you were doing.
Also
Had you said anything, you would have known my answer. So you're smart.
Oh yeah, I had to throw in the extra little, the little fuck you at the end there. You know, oh, male characters only for you, sir. Can't fool me.
Alex
Also
says
Captain
Capper.
Solano.
Oh, Capper! Fuck, that would have been a good one, Alex. Just don't
That's
let
a good
him.
one,
Just don't
actually,
let him be the top, because if you know anything about cat penises, that wouldn't be very pleasant.
Capper is a Tumblr sexy man.
Yeah, but again, just don't let a cat top you. For a very good reason.
But
All right.
there are the photos in Discord.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna put them on just because they are real life pictures. However, yeah, that's Jared right there. He doesn't look a lot different. His hair's just shorter. But that's about it. All right. Well, that's the end of Lucky Seven's Unlucky 13. Thank you for the follow, Gio.
I can take him with the name yourself.
What is your next question, Mugany?
Let's pull them up.
Okay,
we don't have a lot left. I think you know the I do have a few of like the actually good questions left, but I want to segue back into.
Oh, and also
questions.
real quick, I did also want to say, Mugany had brought this up, but another thing that we don't want to do is we're not going to try to rush the ending of a show. The podcast is going to go however long it goes, as long as it doesn't interfere with your work, right, Mugany? Just because, you like the detailed answers. Okay, cool.
Yeah. However long we're comfortable and however long the guest is comfortable.
Yep.
Well, I'm here for the better part of hell. I've also ordered food, and I'll need to take a bathroom.
Okay.
When the food gets here is when I'll take the break, and I'll let you guys know, of course.
Got you. We'll occupy the time.
Indeed.
All right. Okay, so on to cringe questions. Okay, so fucking 7. I was building up to the stick in the penis as the ultimate question.
To be fair, it wasn't as cringe as we thought it would be, though. She was very vague about that.
I
thought it would involve an actual stick in his penis.
No, all she had to do is tell you guys to ask me about a stick, and I would know exactly what we're fucking talking about.
Okay, so questions. Okay, first one. Have you ever had a wine glass enema?
Okay, I know where that question comes from. That's another pencil-related one. That was,
dude. She's like the Rain Man of like cringe questions.
So it wasn't that we were doing wine glass. It was BronyCon 2017. I was out at the airport picking up a friend from the Netherlands and driving them to their hotel to get them to bed. I roll up at midnight. Priest and Pencil are in their bed, Snoo's in my bed, and they're going back and forth with some of the wildest fucking shit I think I've ever walked in. And they were talking about sharing wine glass enemas with friends. I don't even remember the conversation because I was so fucking tired. But the shit posting went on until like 4 a.m. It was just insane. And it was just so many jokes about enemas and like mild racism to a degree. It was dumb. It was great. I loved every second of it. But I don't remember most of it because after I got back, I was just fucking done with it. So.
All right. Just PSA for anyone watching, please don't butt chug alcohol. You can die doing that because your body doesn't filter the alcohol the same way. And what happens is all of the alcohol gets to your liver at the same time, and it'll have trouble processing it. So, yeah, be careful.
It absolutely fucks you up. Do not do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it.
Do not.
Oh, we're gonna do that, by the way, Mugany, what you DM'd me?
Yes, don't say what it is.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll help do that near the end of the show if
I
that's when I'm doing it.
Okay.
I
Well,
want
it's
more-
going to be part of the cringe questions because it makes.
Oh,
me
is it?
feel
Okay,
bad.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll load it up on my phone
Okay.
then, so it's not on the stream as a spoiler.
Okay. Do you want to tell us about the strippers in Vegas?
I vaguely touched on that. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think I know.
We were at the presidential suite for a room party at the end of the night in HRPC. I was absolutely getting fucking blasted on the rest of their beer. One of our friends was over in the corner, super high and singing about Pocahontas in a leotard. Fiara was there. She was talking about some crazy fucking stuff because she was just a wee bit lit up. And I was just there at the table with all the booze, just drinking random shit. I just took whatever was there, opened it up, and drank it, and people were laughing about it. Betsy comes over, grabs my shoulder. She's like, no. You got to see this right fucking now. She drags me over to the center of the room, points off in the distance, and there is this beautiful, very thin, well-built lady with nice B-cup tits. Absolutely going ham with a nice lap dance for this guy in a chair.
Wait, was she like naked, like topless?
Topless. She had the bottoms on and everything, but she.
Oh, I've been to a topless bar. Those are great.
Oh, but this wasn't a bar. This is just a room party, and she was just an attendee at the place. She wasn't hired to be there. She was just there, and somebody offered her $100 to do it, and she did it.
Damn. I mean, dude, for $100, like, look, every person has their price.
Oh yeah, and she looked good doing it too. She went through and she was with this guy. Hot minute.
I would give myself a wine glass enema for $100.
Mood.
I would make sure it was high enough alcohol content that you died.
But I think the funniest part was that like the other guys who were sitting there nearby weren't watching the stripper. They were watching Family Guy. We're talking like
They're watching.
they were just 7 our age kind of guys, 28, 29, not even paying attention to it. Straight on with Family Guy.
I mean, what episode was it?
I honestly don't even fucking remember.
Because I mean, it really depends. Because like, look, if it's like a really fucking funny episode, like the one where they had to move to Alabama for witness protection, I definitely get it.
Oh, like I said, I had no idea. I was too busy watching tits. I was too into it.
I feel you.
Then,
I feel you.
She came around the room and she offered to motorboat Pencil. When she obliged, Pencil said yes, and she motorboated Pencil's tits, and that was kind of hot too. Man, that was a wild fucking party. Now that I think about all the shit.
When was this?
2018 HRPC.
HRPC.
Did
What's
you?
That? What's HRPC?
iRoller PonyCon.
Is this it? Is it in Vegas?
Yeah, it was the 1-year con in Vegas. They did it once.
Why the fuck did I not go to this? I went to BronyCon just because Dustin said to, and I missed out on this.
You missed out on HRPC, which was a very comfy con. The staff were wonderful. The people who ran it were amazing. The location was awesome. I mean, it was hotter than balls, but it's air quotes dry heat. I don't care what you fucking say. 120 still 100.
I gotta bring this up to Dustin. I can't wait to tell him we picked the wrong fucking convention to go to.
It was easily
nice.
One of the coolest conventions that I was able to enjoy, and they genuinely wanted us there at the convention. And 2 people actually bought tickets through our code, so we got $40 towards our room, and that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Damn.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty baller.
God, I hope I can make it to BabsCon. I'd love to make it to BabsCon.
I know, I'm trying to as well. What is it, April next year?
Yeah,
we have plenty of time.
They run literally on the week of Easter, so
okay,
be prepared. If your family gets a sense of a holiday, that's going to be the one you're missing.
Wait, guys, if you're able to make it to BabsCon next year, we are trying to get approved for the panels because we are going to try to interview the podcast there. So
me and Dustin are
keep your
applying
eyes
for a
open
panel as well. Me
Ooh,
and Dustin
nice.
have always hosted a shipping panel called, oh god, what is it? It's cuddle chemistry. It's a really good one. So hopefully we can do that.
I'll be straight. It might be if you don't get the panel, let me know either way. We're just going to do a room party and we'll just do the interview then. I don't give a
yeah,
shit.
Sure.
Renegade panel.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, thanks.
We've done Renegade panel. That's cool.
Yeah. Seven, you might be the one to apply for the panel since you actually have a history with them. They might I feel like you might be the safer option to apply.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll put in that I've hosted some panels at like Midwest Brony Fest, and I mean I hosted one at the last BronyCon, so that has to mean something. And that was on a Saturday.
Yep.
I don't know how the fuck we got a Saturday afternoon panel at the final BronyCon, and it was so packed that most of our friends from the Barcast got locked out.
Yeah, we couldn't make it in.
I was-
It was blocked up. Everybody was there. Couldn't go in.
Yeah, no,
I-
they it was so funny though because after it, one of the people who actually did get in, and I wanted to tell this story real quick because we're on conventions. I got to meet Pascowite, which I assume you've probably
Oh,
talked
sweet.
to Pascowite,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I remembered because the panel finished and it was our shipping panel as usual, and it finished up. Who was it on the panel? It was me, Missy, Jack, and Dustin. And we finished up, and I walked outside of the room, and first I saw you and the others in the barcast, and you were all like, yeah, we couldn't come in. They wouldn't let us in. And I was like, damn, that sucks. And then this older gentleman walked up to me who looked like he was like late 40s, early 50s, and he went to shake my hand. And so I shook it. I was like, hey, nice to meet you. Who are you? And he goes, oh, I've been waiting to meet you. I'm super excited to talk to you. And I was like, I looked at his badge and I was like, oh my god, it's Pascowite. This is the dude who helped me get featured on Equestrian Daily, and he waited to meet me outside of the panel. I was like, how did he remember that? He's such a sweetheart. I love Pascowite.
I just want to take a moment to brag because I was there and I was logged out, but I just told the security, "Hey, I'm trying to my friends are hosting the panel, and I'm just really trying to get into this. Is there any way you can let me in?" So like the security guard just went in, found some open seats, and said, "Yeah, you can go in." So yeah, you guys didn't try hard enough.
I guess so. I mean,
I think what was it? Priest got in. I think Priest and Pencil got in.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
Oh, I didn't see them
Flam,
there.
Milk, and then no, they were there. Priest told me at least he got in. I know that much.
Yeah. I think Priest and Pencil got in, but like they weren't letting everybody else in, so I went off to go get food because I was hungry.
I don't blame you. I mean, I have to be honest. After our panel, I didn't attend a single panel the entire convention because I already knew that I would get locked out of them because the lines were so long. I just spent 80% of my time at that convention in the merch room because it was just so cool seeing all the merch, talking to the show cast and stuff. I stood in line just to meet Lauren Faust. I stood in line to meet Rebecca Choiquette. Like I said, it was cool. But yeah, the panels, they made a big mistake only renting out half of the space that they did from 2017 because they had twice as many guests. So that was a disaster.
I thought about going to the comedy panel, but it's probably a good thing I didn't because usually those are shit.
You would have outshone them. I mean, hey, man.
I mean, I mean, to be fair, it's hard to give advice on comedy because you can't teach somebody how to be funny. You just
It's
show
100%.
somebody like this
You
is
can
what
teach
it's
like you can teach chemistry and like flow, but yeah, you can't make them funny.
yeah, and if you're doing a comedy panel, like it's expected of you to be funny, so that's like there's a lot of stress on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's was there any more cringe questions? Okay, so there's no more cringe questions, but Rav did provide us a video. For
I have a cringe question, real quick, if I can ask it.
Sure. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So you talked about how you've butt chugged before.
I never butt chugged, but let's go ahead and keep going. Yes.
Let's go. Okay, let's pretend you did. So let's say you had to butt chug. Would you butt chug with Pencil's dildo? Now, Muggany, are you familiar with this?
No.
Oh yeah, Milk. Go ahead and tell the story of Pencil's penis that everyone drinks from.
Okay.
Like Thor's horn.
No. So you are aware of the company Bad Dragon, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So they have it's a legacy toy now. You can't buy it anymore. It was essentially a werewolf shaped air quotes penis.
I know the exact one you're talking about, by the way.
Hers was specifically designed so that it had the ability to attach a tube and syringe to that you could shoot liquid through. You know, usually you would just do cum lube or whatever, but she would put rum chata into the shots. So you would basically get a shot of alcohol from the dick. And the whole point was that you would take the dick And without assistance, you would suck as hard as you could on the tip to pull one shot of alcohol and drink it. And we had a whole contest about who could do it the fastest. And somebody has the record of about 9 seconds and some odd milliseconds. And they fucking nailed it.
So it is like Thor's horn.
Yeah, okay. So it's like that. I didn't know what that was, so I just...
It's from Norse mythology. He just basically drank the ocean through a horn.
Oh, that's pretty baller.
Yeah.
But so we would all take turns and we would try to do the shot as fast as possible. I have like a 25-second time. Stu has 12 seconds, and then the record holder was like 9 seconds. Fucking amazing. It's really hard to do. Because
you said it's a syringe, so I mean that's not easy.
Yeah, it's like one of the large syringes, so it's got a decent opening to it, but like
like a turkey baster kind of.
Yeah, but you're doing it unassisted, and it's like a plunger that has to be pulled in by the force of your suck. So that's a whole thing.
I'm tempted to practice that. I'm tempted to just buy one and practice that for like the year until BabsCon and be like, pencil, give me your dick, and then just do it in like 4 seconds.
For practice reasons, obviously, yes, indeed.
Yeah, of course. I just want to practice sucking cock.
The real funny question you're not asking is if I could actually take the toy up my rear end to do the butt chugging, and the answer is yes. I will give you that.
What is this stream we're watching? I'm gonna have to pull this up. Is this fine to pull up?
Yes, it is. It's safe.
It is fine to pull up. Okay, all right. Give me a sec. Don't play it yet. Let me. I gotta make the Discord thing bigger on here. I wasn't aware we were doing this, so give me 1 sec.
As soon as we're done with this video, I need to go grab my food and take a piss. So.
Okay.
I'm already watching it through Discord to see what is going on. I already hate what this is titled, and I'm very upset.
Before you go to after this one, before you go to take your piss, I do have one more video to show you. It's very short.
Okay.
A minute.
Okay.
All right. There we go. I got it pulled up. That was fucking annoying to do. All right. Let's.
Hi guys, and welcome to Crush It. Today we have a bag of dice. Can't let any go to waste. I'm gonna crush one, see what happens, and then crush the rest, and hopefully we'll get some pretty cool results. So yeah, let's just crush it.
But why?
Yes!
Oh, that's evil.
That one dice gave us such a loud bang. But what happens when we crush 36 of them?
Oh no.
That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That was violent.
God damn.
I would do that if I had a hydraulic press.
Oh my gosh, that was such a good explosion. Take a look at this. Colors merged together. That was such a nice explosion.
Oh, they're like stuck. That's kind of cool.
Crumbs of powder just went
No! God, he
all
broke
over the
it.
place.
Well guys, there we have it. That was such a loud and powerful explosion. Things went absolutely everywhere.
I just realised there are pieces of dice stuck in the plastic backing of mine. There. That's basically like shrapnel from there.
Remember to follow us on social media, videos and photos that...
How do you feel, Milk?
Dead inside. That just kills my entire fucking mood right there. Good dice. They didn't deserve that.
Okay. Okay, before you go do your thing,
Yeah, what's your...
this isn't really... I mean, it can be considered cringe, but like I was talking about Neil Breen earlier. This is a scene from a Neil Breen movie. Notice how it comes with the...
Oh, are we watching another? Are we watching another? All right, 1 sec.
Yes.
I gotta make it bigger. I didn't realize. This is the last one?
Last one.
Last one? Okay. 1 sec.
And it starts with the content warning.
Play it. Of course it does. Of course.
It's required.
Jim! Call 911!
What is this acting? Jeez.
Jim!
Who is he saying it to?
Bro, this is like a porno acting. Like,
How could you have done this? Jim!
How could you have done this, Jim?
I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide. How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide?
Are we sure we're not watching The Room?
This feels like The Room.
It
Can't help you out of this
does.
one, Jim.
Look how fucking emotionless he
With
is.
all we've been through.
Why did he rub the blood on his face?
The acting in this legit reminds me of like those fake pornos that the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy would do. What was his name? You
I
would
know
know
who you're
this,
talking
Mahoney.
about. I do know who you're talking about. He also directed the Suicide Squad, the good one.
Yeah, he did. All right.
The good one.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, that was awful.
Yes,
Thank you for sharing that with me.
Oh,
You're welcome. Okay. Go do your thing when we get back. We have something special planned for you.
Oh no. Okay, I'll be right back in a minute.
Okay. All right. I don't know what we're gonna do to fill this space. How's your day, 7?
that's been fine. How about you?
Nice. It's been good. I got a workout in. Do you want to tell people about what happened before we started?
No, that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, you
Shane's
mean that
fine.
thing? Oh, how is
Yeah.
this? Hans is here. One sec.
By the way, somebody mentioned in chat is James Gunn.
James Gunn. Thank you. That is who that was. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, the car thing.
Yeah. It was James Gunn. The car thing. So yeah, I was driving home from work earlier, and this made me so mad because we had a schedule, which, God, it didn't end up mattering anyways, Mogany, because you were like 30 minutes late starting. But anyways, I got off work at 5:45, and we were originally planning to do this at 6:30 my time. And I'm driving down the road that leads directly from my office to my house because it's literally just one main road. That's it. I don't have to do any turns aside from turning on into my office or turning into my house. And all of a sudden, these 2 police cruisers behind me turn their lights on, and they just fly past me. And then a fire truck and an ambulance fly past me. So I'm like, oh, geez, what's going on? And I realized that what happened was like 4 cars ahead of me while I was stopped. Someone had tried to run a red light, and I wasn't paying attention because it's a red light. I was texting someone back on my phone. I was going to put it back down right after. I looked up, and my music was loud, so I didn't hear this either. I'm a freak. But another car just zoomed through their light going like 50 when it should have been like a 25. But they were zooming through. And they T-boned the car that ran the red light. And the car that ran the red light got launched like 3 lanes to the right, did a couple flips, and then landed on its back on the sidewalk. There was people on the sidewalk like
Jesus.
freaking out. So I'm hoping no pedestrians got hit. But yeah, and the thing that pissed me off the most, it's not even the accident. It's the fact that after the accident, I had to merge to the left to get in the turn lane to go left and take a detour. I had 5 fucking cars plus a truck and a U-Haul cut me off. Literally, I'm just trying to get in there. There's just been an accident. All I'm trying to do is get in this turn lane like everyone else. I had 5 fucking people cut me off and almost hit my car trying to literally speed up so I couldn't cut in front of them and get in like the fucking in the line and merge in. The wrong people got in an accident on this day. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how mad I was about these fucking assholes cutting me off. The wrong people were involved in an accident. These people were such selfish assholes. Like, you're telling me there's a possibility people have died and you're still so hell-bent on getting to where you need to be that you're gonna cut off people and potentially cause another wreck? Good lord, dude.
Yeah. Fuck. That reminded me. But real quick before I go into my thing, I just had a question. Do you think it's possible the guy who ran the red light? Do you think his brakes just went out, or he's just being a dick?
Night, baby. Sorry, Brittany was in the chat. Night. The guy who
Brittany?
ran the red light? I mean, look, some people, let's be real, some people just try to beat a light, and that might have been what happened. I don't know. But no matter who was at fault, I just hope everyone was okay. And I
That's good to
really
know.
just think that the people who cut me off should have been the people who got T-boned. But what do I know? Almost 5 people hit my car. Brittany there, who was just in chat and just said goodnight. I was on the phone with her, freaking out as these people kept cutting me off. I don't like. I'm not the most calm person driving, but I also don't actually road rage. I never actually like freak out and yell at people. But I was so tempted to roll my window down and yell at these people. Like,
Empty plot filler asked, "Do you think his brakes went out because he's a dick?"
God cut his brakes just because he was an asshole. His brake line's just gone.
It's like I can't with this asshole. Your brakes stop working now.
Yeah, right. No, like that happened. Nah, that just annoyed me because it also added like my commute to work is like 5 minutes, but it ended up being like 30 because I had to do a U-turn, get on an interstate exchange, and then get off on another main road that led to my place. And it was just a whole hassle. Would have been faster if I didn't get cut off 5 times. Thank you. I'm glad I'm safe too. That intersection is notoriously dangerous. When me and my girlfriend were leaving Starbucks there one day, our light was green, and this fucking truck blazed through their red light on the same intersection, and it was a rainy day, and I slammed on my brakes, and I swear to God, my car was half an inch from that truck when it flew by. He would have hit us at going 60. So, I don't know how I saw him, but I'm glad I did.
This reminds me, and I guess check and confirm whether or not it's justified in this situation. Not that long ago. This was just a few weeks ago. I work at a gas station. I work overnights, and I get all sorts of customers. I get all sorts of interesting people because it's the middle of the night. That's when the troglodytes come out of their caves, as they say. This guy had come in, and immediately I could tell something was off about him because we stopped selling alcohol in our area around 12 a.m. and he was trying to buy a beer at 12:30 a.m. So I explained to him, we're not selling alcohol right now, and he was very understanding. But after that, he immediately went for the cigarettes. He started asking me about the cigarettes, and there is this entire wall behind me. And the first thing he asks is, "What kind of cigarettes you got?" And I do not know how to explain something like that to him. I don't like because we have like 67 different brands behind me. And so I just told him, okay, our most popular brands are Marlboro Red, Marlboro Light. This went on for 5 minutes. And I could tell, he was stumbling around, his voice was slurry. This guy was drunk. And he was not in the proper headspace to be out driving. So I asked him, "You're not out driving, are you?" And immediately this nervous look came over. He said, "What? No, I live right across the street." There are no houses across the street. It's just a scrapyard.
That was me.
Hey,
Sorry.
I called the cops.
Really just needed a drink.
Hi.
That was you.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. I'm just telling this story about this guy who came to the store. Basically, he was really drunk and trying to buy cigarettes and took way too long.
Alex brings up a good point. What if it was a ghost and his house used to be over there? Yeah, he lived across the street 300 years ago.
You might be right, and he died in a drunk driving accident.
300 years ago? What was he driving? A horse?
Probably the horse and carriage. He might have been driving a Ford. But no. Okay, so I rig up his cigarettes and he's asked me, "Do you need an ID?" I say, "Yeah, I do." So he says, "Hold on." He goes out to his car, and I'm watching him from the window. I see him open the driver's side door, and I see that there is nobody else in there. So he comes back in, and I guess he goes to my coworker. My coworker checks him out. So while my coworker's checking him out, he's parked on the restaurant side. So I go to the restaurant side, and I take a picture of his license plate through the window. And after he finishes checking out, I watch him get into the car and pull out. And this just pisses me off, so I just go out loud, I am calling the fucking police. And my coworker, who is a 19-year-old, just goes, "Man, don't be that guy. Was I justified or not in that situation?"
No, your coworker's a fucking idiot. You're 100% justified. Drunk
Yeah,
drivers
absolutely.
drunk drivers are pieces of shit. There's plenty of things I will joke about. Fuck drunk drivers. I have personal reasons
Yeah.
for that, but even aside from those personal reasons, no. Like drunk driving,
Yeah.
you're the biggest piece of shit if you do that. I don't care.
Absolutely. 100%.
I
There's so
remember
many
an
ways to just
incident- this
not
is-
be a piece of shit, and drunk drivers have somehow managed to avoid all the ways to be a good person.
Yeah. I remember a story back in high school. This is a little depressing, so I won't go too much into it. But and I did interact with this teacher on occasion a few times. I never really
Teacher
had him,
came to
though,
school drunk.
but no. This was on a Monday, and it happened over the weekend. It was just a normal weekend like any other, and then I came to school, and the principal gets on the intercom first period, and you can just hear the sob in his voice, and he just announces that this teacher had gotten hit by a drunk driver, and it was a
Jesus
teacher
Christ.
everyone really liked. Yeah, and if all you need to know is there was something eerie about the hallways of a high school being that quiet between
Oh
class
yeah,
periods.
no,
It's just
100%.
it is really eerie. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out drinking,
Just call an
drink
Uber.
responsibly. Yeah, call an Uber. Sometimes it's not recommended that you go out walking, but sometimes walking is safer than driving. But whatever you do, just stay safe, please.
All right. Well, to be less depressing,
Yeah.
what's the next question?
So it's not a question, but we are doing something special for Milk.
Oh boy.
We are going to read his poetry.
Oh fuck.
Can I read the first
Yes.
one?
Go ahead.
All right, guys. So, we found a. I'm not actually gonna stream it. So you can close the stream just because I want people to blind
Okay.
hear this. It's more fun that way. No spoilers for the poetry for people. So this is called Precariously Placed Pony Poems Picturing Plenty of Feelings. It's with a PH. That's a fat way to spell that, by the way.
It was
Also
supposed
with
to be
PH.
alliteration.
This is with the help of... Oh, and I love alliteration. This is with the help of Anon Pencil, Flam, Snoo, Alex, our lovely intern, the Invisible Davis, and Futter Priest. You misspelled his name, Futter Priest.
Yeah, it was funny at the time.
So this first chapter is called
This
2018.
is before your first boner.
This first chapter is called 2018. Scoots wanted to die, but suicide is a meme. Silly Scoots, you wouldn't even try. I'll show them, she said, swinging from a ceiling beam. That's... You wanna...
They get worse. They get worse. Don't worry.
You want to
They get
split
worse.
parts 1 and 2 of the next one, Mugany?
Sure.
Which part do you
Are
want to
you
read?
are you reading them in order?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, Jesus.
I was gonna read random ones, but we'll
Oh,
do
then
it
let's
that
do that.
way.
Pick a random
that way
one.
better.
Pick a random one.
Oh, okay. Growing up. That's the one I was on previously. Okay.
Growing up. Okay.
I'll read this one. Spike was a dragon. A baby by dragon scale, but close to adulthood by pony scale. Grow up, they would say. Be a stallion, they would jeer. Be an adult, some would scorn. But he wasn't an ant adult. Much less a stallion. He was a dragon, raised by ponies. Trying his best to be what they wanted, but always falling short. He was tired of always falling short. He packed a few of his personal belongings and set out. He didn't leave a note or a sign. It would be easier this way. They wouldn't notice him missing. They'd soon forget he existed. I think he picked a depressing one. He'd make it to the Dragon Lands and fade away from his old life, to never be a problem again, to never be told to grow up or be a stallion. He was free to be what he truly was, a baby dragon.
A lot of these are written.
That one was terrible just because Spikes.
What'd you say, Milk?
Most of these were written when I was having like a really depressive moment.
Yeah, I also can't really criticize these because I suck ass at poetry, so I could never be a poetry critic. I wouldn't know what to say.
Mean, if you look at some of the comments, some of them actually have like real criticisms to what I was writing, and then some of them are just like, "What the fuck are you writing? What is this trash?"
All right, I'm going to read. Let's see. Kiss. I'm gonna read Kiss.
Fuck, which one was that one?
Twilight was sad. Celestia seemed mad. She wasn't sure what she did, but Celestia seemed livid. She was only studying one of the books she'd found in the library's many nooks, the trials and tribulations of long-distance teleportation. She was so excited to show Celestia she channeled her magics, off to Tia the Bestia, to show her the practice. A loud pop in the throne room, a shrill shriek. It was a thunderous boom. The guards dared only peek. A purple mass of flesh and bone, Celestia should have known, appeared before the princess. Twilight sat before her, skinless. This would be a long night, and truly a fight. Celestia would have to fix this mess. Celestia was filled with stress. Why the fuck is this called Kiss?
I don't fucking know.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't remember where some of the titles came from.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more of these. I'm gonna pick one.
More.
I don't know. I'm into it. This one's called Cheese.
Cheese. Where's that? I want to read along. Oh, there it is. I found it. Go ahead.
Okay. Reddy loves her pinks. She loved to stick things in her pink. Today she found some cheese. The thoughts of those delicious curds. That block of cheddar is such a tease. To be honest, it looks like a turd. Would Rarity dare? Would anyone care? If she stuck that Gruyere in her derriere? If she held a pink party with that Havarti?
Alright, this was 100% helped by pencil.
Yeah, that one.
It has to do with cheese and sex. That's pencil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not to forget the wordplay. There's actually some really good wordplay in there.
There is the Havarti part. Like, are you serious? And the Gruyere, derriere.
That's dairy air. Like two separate words. Dairy air.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. I love it.
Most of these are like actual shitposts. Some of them have like real serious stuff in them. I'm trying to remember which ones they were. But
the Spike one I read.
That one, there was one where Big Mac where like it touches on him cross-dressing and his possibility of being trans or something like that. And I wrote like one that really hit with a lot of people, and the second one I wrote for it sucked.
So when's the next chapter coming out?
I do have one that's like queued up, but I haven't written anything for it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's titled Space.
So I am going to upvote this.
Same. Go upvote it, guys. Go upvote it.
It's on milk_barcast on Fimfic.
Posting it to Twitch chats if you allow links. You do.
Then we do love links. All right.
Yes.
So what's up next, Muggany? What do we got up next for our fun guest here to make him uncomfortable?
That was about it. I didn't have that much lined up.
Oh, for the cringe?
For the cringe. Okay. In general, we have a few more questions.
Perfect.
Not much. It looks like we're down to 3. Okay, so the podcast ended because you didn't want to do it anymore, and it wasn't just you yourself decided to end it. It was just that nobody
say,
would
that
do
sounds
it
so
without
accusatory. Like,
It is.
just like,
Like,
Milk,
you
you
just,
wanted
like,
it to end. You wanted it to end, Milk. It was you.
I mean, if you want to be
Yeah.
legitimate with it, yes, I was the one who initiated the idea.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Look, it's been
I don't blame
it
you
had been a
either.
decade, and you wanted weekends free to be with your boyfriend. So
Yes, you're on the ball with it because so 2024 hits. Priest has moved out to California. They're all doing stuff. I'm in my area, and Snoo had just moved up. I really wanted weekends back so I could go do stuff and take him to dinners and just hang out and enjoy my weekends. And it just seemed like the right time because we were in between a lot of guests. Nobody really had time to commit to the podcast. Everybody was new life things going on, so it was really hard to just pack stuff down and make sure everybody was like lined up and ready to go. It was a struggle for scheduling. So it just made sense for us to turn around and say, hey, we don't have the time to do this anymore. Let's go ahead and end it on the high note now and ride it out. And we talked about it for a couple weeks, did a couple casts in between, and we all realized, yeah, we kind of want to just be done with this. And we came up with a plan for doing the final two shows of the big interviews and then our last little 2-hour sit down screw around.
which turned into like 4 hours, if not longer.
We just decided to keep on going with it. It just made sense to just keep going because
The one before was what, 12 hours?
It was a full 12-hour cast. That was 12 o'clock Pacific Standard to 12 a.m. Pacific Standard.
Yeah, I remember I was up till 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I felt really uncomfortable with my interview. Like I was taking way too long to answer questions, or I was eating up your time.
No, you did fine. Everybody did great. Well,
Nice.
I mean, we had it was really nice because it worked out because we had enough people to sign up and people to show up and take slots that everybody had their 5-minute slot, give or take 5 minutes on either side for elongated answers or just extra stuff they wanted to say, stuff like that. We had time in between for each guest. It worked out perfectly, honestly.
I really do hope that we can make it out to BabsCon together, because that would be like, if me and Muggany can interview you all in person, that'd be like the final barcast, basically.
I already have a name for it. What was it? It was after hours. It was after hours.
Barcast after hours.
I am 100% going. But that it's also convenient that I'm going because I'm working at vendor's booth with Fiara. I'm basically just
is that Fiara the tank girl?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, no, she's really nice.
Yeah, so I started working with her last Cider Fest, and she liked how I was able to really boost numbers for sales. So now I'm the designated con helper person, whatever it's called.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm basically going to every convention that I can where she's going to be and selling.
So, nice. By the way, you gave a good answer. The problem is that wasn't the question.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Okay.
It's like Family Feud. They hit the buzzer before it's done.
Okay, so the barcast ended because you didn't want to do anymore. It wasn't because you personally wanted to end it. It was mainly just the other cast members who wanted to without you because you had been there for so long. It just wasn't right, which is respectable. Some of my favorite podcasts, they've dropped people, and it just didn't feel the same after. A lot of TV shows are that way. But here's the thing. You didn't really do anything to begin with, which means you could have left. You could have just, left your Discord on and streamed, and or just let pre-stream. Just mute yourself the entire time. So, this isn't really a question. I just want to call you a fucking asshole.
I think that you were justified, Milk. I think you should be allowed to do what you want, because today is June 1st, and Muggany shouldn't be allowed to say that to you.
Yeah, how dare you on Gay Month?
I don't care. I'm homophobic.
I will stand on the soapbox and say that yes, it was my initial idea. I did.
Why don't you use the soap in that box to cleanse away your sins?
There's not soap strong enough to cleanse away those.
Look,
I did tell them that, hey, I want to step back, but if you guys want to keep going, you are more than welcome. I will pass over the keys I will help you find a replacement. I will even sit in the background and help you guys find guests. I just won't be there for the weekend streams. And they said, no, it's all or nothing. And I said, that's respectful. We will just go ahead and close it out if you guys are ready to do it. If not, we'll keep going as long as you guys want to go to. But when I mentioned that I was done, everybody else is like, yeah, I'm pretty much done with this. I don't have the time on the weekend to do it. It's stressful to try and get to. Even with the time change where we had swapped from 7 Eastern to 9 or like 8:30 Eastern for a start time, it just didn't work out. We weren't able to really commit the time that the podcast needed for.
You know,
Perfectly understandable.
yeah, I was gonna say, when, I mean, I definitely get them not wanting to go on without you. Like, you know, when the great Led Zeppelin, when their drummer died, they said that, you know, when their friend couldn't be with them anymore, they couldn't continue as they were. And obviously you didn't die, but I get it. You know, you've been doing a show with someone for a decade. You know, if they are going to leave, I wouldn't want to continue it either. I would feel dreadful doing that because it wouldn't feel like the Barcast anymore. Especially to replace you. Replacing you would just be terrible. That's like bringing in a new lead singer. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, Daft Punk ended just a few years back. Is like Daft Punk would be the same without both of them.
It wouldn't be the same without Frenchman 1 or Frenchman 2.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Sacre Bleu.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So,
well, I'm glad you guys were able to end it on your own terms.
And again, you 100% have every right to end it for whatever reason you want. I mean, you could have just straight up said, "Man, I fucking hate this now," and I guarantee most people would have been like, "Yeah, I mean, it's been a decade. I kind of get it." I don't think anyone would have held it against you, but your reasoning is actually very, very good.
Here's my solution. You made all sorts of monetization off it, but that all went to charity. You could have kept some of it, you asshole.
I could have, but I would feel awful.
Gotta donate to the horsies.
I'm thinking.
I told him what it was for, and that's what I was gonna do. I definitely had thoughts. I'm like, oh man, I could really use 50.
So basically, every bit, every subscriber, all the gift subs, they went to the horsies.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great of you, actually. Do you know approximately how much money you raised for that charity?
Oh God!
Over the years, do you have like a ballpark?
It's hard to say because what we donated wasn't the one-for-one number of what was given to us. Most months we ran on the $50 a month subscription to Red Wing Horse Nation. We wouldn't get $50 every month, so we based it on the idea that every month it would be $50, so that would be $600 a month or $600 a year, and we ran for I don't know. I don't remember when we started it, so probably somewhere in the ballpark range of like $10,000 maybe.
Woo!
I mean, we had a whole bunch of times where we ran Twitch campaigns, and we got a whole bunch of extra money towards it, so that was really cool. But from when we started to now, it was always $50.
Did you ever get like recognition from the charity group or like listed on their site as donators, or was it all anonymous?
It was done in like from the Barcast, you know.
Yeah.
They are aware of the people that donate, and they keep a list. And I know when Flam and Enigma and Flam's girlfriend went out there, they went and saw the horse, and they're like, "Oh, you're representatives of the Barcast. Well, here's the horse that you help sponsor. Would you like to go out and pet the horse?" And they went and interviewed the horse.
Oh well,
he interviewed the horse.
They interviewed the Haunts.
Yeah, they did. He is a miniature Shetland, and he's a piece of shit according to the workers there. He's always trying to get out and escape.
What's his name again?
It's
a little bit.
That's right.
Perfect. Yeah. The perfect Barcast horse.
Honestly, that horse just sounds like you trying to leave the Barcast.
Honestly, he's a second horse too.
A little bit at a time.
our first horse actually died just of old age. He was like 18 years old, and he was
Oh, what was his
Yeah.
name?
I remember.
Big Mac.
I remember that one.
Big Mac. I
Aw.
remember
Big
that
Mac.
one. Yeah.
Spelled with a K at the end. So that's the important distinct there. You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
I do remember that though. Yeah.
it was very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we got to run a campaign. Oh, pick the next Barcast horse, and we had a whole poll, and everybody voted. It was really cool.
I guarantee you, everyone just picked Little Bit because it was close to Little Pip.
Honestly,
So yeah, you guys are officially better people than me, because I do hope to monetize this podcast if it picks up, and I'm just gonna keep the money.
I honestly don't blame you. Running at a deficit is very difficult unless you have money backing. And
Yeah.
I definitely speak from a place of privilege. I do have certain life situations and advantages that allow me to run at a deficit and not feel that pain. So, for those who monetize to make money, 100% power to you, because it is draining. It is an absolute pain in the ass, and it's just a constant drain on your own finances if you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seven, the money you made from this podcast, just give me all of it.
Okay. I mean, I was actually going to split it with you, so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was going
we
to
can talk
say
about that after that.
I'm definitely fine with playing the milk roll and being the streamer and just splitting the money after.
Yeah. I think I'm cool with you streaming for me, because I don't think I'm gonna. I'm paranoid about OBS and like fucking up.
No, you're fine. I get
It
that.
takes a man to learn. It's
Yeah.
something.
You also have to have really good hardware to do it consistently.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mine is not shit but mediocre.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
running a podcast is expensive. You got to remember, we bought custom art for every guest that came on. So
They did, yeah.
Everything you see on YouTube where we did a guest has a custom piece of art, which means we paid art for. We paid the artist to draw the art.
Actually, there was one that wasn't custom art. It was the emo and edgy one, and all you did was pull the profile picture, which I drew, by the way. I actually drew that profile picture, the one of Celestia. So if you were to go on FimFiction right now and go to something emo and edgy's page, which I can link that because the user page itself technically.
I swear I would have turned that into an artist.
I think you did. You did. It's not the one that's currently the thing there. But hold on, I'll actually pull up Firefox here, and I will go to it. So on stream, you can actually watch real quick. Pretty sure if we go here, we go to the Barcast. Oh, misspelled it. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, it's just the picture that I drew, and then Dustin edited it to put the Squidward nose on it. That's
Okay,
literally it.
That was that was Eighth, our artist, who was doing that one. And when I handed him the thing, he's like, "What the fuck is this? Are you asking me to draw this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I need you to put this as our barcast." And he's like, "Are you fucking stupid? I'm just gonna copy paste this onto the page, and you're gonna." I'm like, "Okay."
He just put it on a fucking notepad, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Oh, Eighth is such
That's amazing.
awesome dude. I loved working with Eighth for his art. The only reason we stopped working with Eighth is because he got into a carpentry accident, and I don't remember the full story if he lost a finger or not, but he was unable to continue drawing for a long enough time that we had to go and get.
Yeah.
And then after Eighth, we worked with Rosenon, and she was just an absolute blessing when it came to the art. She was on the point with everybody's OCs and everything.
Yeah. No, I remembered that because as soon as you said custom art, I was like, wait a second. No. Not this one.
Yeah,
because that picture that I drew, it didn't need custom art. It was already a masterpiece.
It was already the masterpiece, yes.
Yeah. In fact, God, it was the picture for the account back when the account was like raising hell all over the site. I mean, dude, it got to the point. I think I told this story when we were on the show, but it got to the point where Chapped actually came to us and he was like, yeah, you guys need to, you guys better thank me because they were going to ban you. I was like, oh, it's like, what do you mean they were going to ban us? And he was like, well, the only person who didn't want you banned, actually there was two. He was like, the only two people who didn't want you banned were Meester and who's the other one? El Dorado, because El Dorado is like the biggest free speech advocate on this fucking website.
I'm surprised that Meester didn't want you guys banned, because Meester's a real hard ass.
Yeah.
Meester just thought we were annoying, but there was a story back in the day. It's one of the worst stories on the website. It's by Headless Rainbow, and it's literally a story where Shining Armor violates his daughter, Flurry Heart. But anyways, there's a comment by Meester on that story that says something akin to, we're not going to remove or reject a story based on if the content in it is objectionable. Just because you guys got your feelings hurt by this story doesn't mean that it doesn't follow site rules. Stop reporting it, you fucking babies.
Meezer was honestly one of the most based mods that you could have.
He is.
I love Meester. He's such a hard ass. He doesn't appear approachable, but he has one of the best senses of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, and that one's like, I distinctly remember that happening too, because Headless Rainbow, that story took the site by fucking storm. Like, because there are some stories that have a lot of downvotes. Like, me and Dustin were proud of getting like over 200 on an emo and edgy story. But the fact that there's a story that he had done, it was called Shining's Flurry, 476 downvotes. Like, this thing collected them. I'm going to try to find the Meester comment real quick, because, God, Meester was so cool for this one. Here it was. Morally objectionable stories are not necessarily against the rules. The story here follows all story submission guidelines. It's just written to be excessively graphic for shock. Just because you don't like something, even if almost everyone dislikes something, doesn't make it against the rules. The site exists as a portal for everyone to post anything that follows our story submission guidelines. Removing stories for moral reasons sets a terrible precedent. And I agree. Thank you, Meester. That comment is what inspired us to start writing emo and edgy, by the way. Because we were like, oh, so we can get away with this.
So he's to blame.
he's partially to blame. Because apparently, yeah, I showed that comment to Dustin, and he was like, oh shit, I'm going to write this first story. And he wrote the first one. It was kind of tame. It just ended with Rarity getting dunked in the sulfuric dunk tank. And then, yeah, after that, we were like, oh shit, wait, Meester said you can just write anything, even if it's fucked up. Oh, we got to go all out with this. And we pissed a lot of people off doing that.
It's very nice getting the origin story. If you see in Discord, I posted a link to Make Meester Happy Foundation.
The Make Meester Happy Foundation.
Yeah, you should. You did post a thread. It's the most voted thread. I'm linking that. The image isn't working, but I remember it was Sweetie Belle blowing into Rarity's ear.
What's the thread name?
I just posted the link.
I'm already here. What's the name of it?
It's just I don't know how to pronounce that.
Bro is a fucking bozo. What is this? Oh, it's this one. You could have just searched the eyes. Oh, yeah, it was just him responding. It was just him responding to the fact that this group got made.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, I thought you were already on the thread, so I was like, I don't know if you expect me to read that.
Oh man, Meester was great. There was a write-off. There was a competition for Meester. What the heck? Only 3 entries.
Nice.
Only 3 entries. It didn't go very well. That's unfortunate.
But he last logged in on April 1st.
Yep.
Figures. Yeah. I miss Meester. I miss Obsolescence. That was a good
Obsolescence. Obsolescence?
Obsolescence.
Obsolescence.
Sorry, Obsolescence.
That's like how British people pronounce aluminium. You're just like obsolescence. It's obsolescence, bro.
Obsolescence. Yeah, he was a good raider. I mean, in general, he's all around a good personality. Yes. Yeah. I only have 2 questions left in here. Okay. I'll ask this one. Are there any creative passions you love exploring aside from writing?
I didn't really write, so that wasn't much of a thing for me. I don't really do a lot of creative stuff. I do some photography stuff now. It's kind of a new hobby that I've gotten into, but
Like
nothing
you
too
take the
major like that.
photos, or
Yeah, I take the photos.
oh, okay. I was thinking people took photos of you. I was like, where?
That'd be weird. I don't do that.
Nude photos of milk on the internet? Where? Where can I find
Yeah.
those?
Probably in about 3 different Discord servers that allow me. But that's a different thing. So, dear God. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just go out and do like birding or landscaping photos. It's like a brand new hobby, so I've just got a Nikon Z30 and a handful of lenses I slept. Go run around and look at stuff.
I mean, that's actually pretty cool. Like, I mean, it's not a camera, but I mean, when I got my Pixel 8 Pro, I was so shocked at how much better the camera was than on the 6A that I had. Because I mean, it's the actual camera that comes with it. It's not some bogus piece of shit that they just throw on the budget version of the phone. Like, I've taken like 10x zoomed in photos and videos of like the geese at work, and it's just crazy how good the quality on these modern cameras is, even in the form factor of a phone. Like, you can get some really gorgeous things.
That is the only reason why I would get an iPhone.
I mean, honestly, any of the modern cameras. The best modern camera is actually the S24 Ultra out of phones.
Nice.
So
I have a Samsung Galaxy. The camera on it is really shitty, so I don't use it.
I wish you had the Note 7 so it'd blow up in your fucking face, Muggany.
I wish too. I wish I could have the one that you can microwave.
There's
the iPhone 6 introducing Wave.
Yes. Yes. It's bendable too. It's very cool.
That was also the iPhone 6, yeah, introducing Bend. And then there was the iPhone 5 or whatever, and it was like, or no, the iPhone, yeah, it was like the iPhone 5. They were like, ooh, if you dunk this one in water, it'll trigger an automatic disconnect to the battery. And I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. And people fell for it anyways. Oh, is this a picture that you took, Milk?
Yeah, that was.
That's very nice.
That is a very nice picture.
Aww.
I've got that up on stream here.
There's another
very nice burb.
Pro that was way up in the tree line.
Yeah.
I had a really nice sunset picture from probably a week ago. I gotta try to find it. Or this cardinal I saw at work. We've been feeding the birds at work, so there's just seeds and everything there. So we've got like a little local gang of birds that just show up to eat food and whatnot.
Is that second one? Is that like a crow?
Yeah, that second one is a crow on the top there.
And there's the cardinal. I saw a cardinal at a restaurant my parents and I went to recently, and I wanted to get a picture of it, but it flew away. I was really sad. I had never seen a red cardinal in person.
Yeah,
They're pretty cute.
Apparently there are still some mourning doves in my region because I hear them on occasion.
Here, I'll share a picture I took with my phone the other day. I'll pull it up on stream. I saw a duck while I was on my walk at work.
Duck!
Ooh, duck.
Very good picture of the duck with a 5x zoom. He was just chilling. Yeah, he was just chilling. Like, he just liked that spot, I suppose.
Let's see here. I went to the lake the other day. I got a nice scenic shot here. Let me get that moon.
Nice moon photo.
You just got mooned.
I also got a really good sunset shot.
Ooh, that is nice. That's like out of a movie scene, like when they're filming sunset going on.
Yeah, that's good composition.
That's very pretty. I like the trees around it. Like, it looks very nice.
It was just a really great shot because it's on a property that faces west right into the lake. And just as the sun's going down, you catch it perfect every time.
That's really gorgeous. And like the sun looks so huge at that exact spot in the sky too.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact for you, science fact here. You know, the sun and the moon always are actually the same size, no matter how big they look to you. It's an illusion. So I learned this from Vsauce, but every time you see the moon, even if it looks huge like a Harvest Moon, if you were to walk outside with a sheet of notebook paper and hold it at arm's length away, it will always fit perfectly in the holes on the side of the paper, no matter what.
Shit.
Pretty
But
cool.
Yeah,
that's the,
illusions are fun, especially with like the moon and stuff. This is a nice picture of a Dairy Queen taken by Mahogany.
that was a lovely scenic shot I took on my trip to like it is the only picture I took.
Hey man, listen, it's a Dairy Queen. Now look, I have to post a picture of some
Yeah.
babies as well that I took.
That was
for
the
families.
that was the day I sent you the Dairy Queen meme.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Here's a good one I want to pull up on the stream. Took a picture of like some geese
Aw.
with their babies. Very, very adorable picture.
A gaggle.
A gaggle of geese.
Gaggle.
The male
Gaggle.
is Ryan Gosling, of course, and the female is Margot
Okay.
Robbie.
Oh, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Who are the chicks?
That's the members of the Bengals. I don't know their names because they're all women.
I have a comment. I'm not sure if I should say it on a Twitch stream.
Don't say it on the Twitch stream
Yeah,
if you're not sure. Continue. Next question. What's the last question? I gotta bring
Okay.
Hans back. Hold on.
Speaking
Hans.
of birds. Speaking of birds, tell us about your OC.
There's zero backstory to him. How did I even start up with? I went over into a friend server where they ran like a role play community or whatever, and I was just there to be a shithead and be stupid. I started off role playing as a glass of milk for the entire thing, and one person got frustrated with it. They're an artist. They're like, hey, "Fuck you! I'm making you a character, and you're gonna be that character." And I'm like, "Okay." And so they made a griffin. It was just an all-white, milk-covered griffin that would just show up and be stupid. That was the first iteration. Then somebody was like, "Oh, let me make it blue-red gradient." So that was another iteration. And then finally, I was talking to Senna, who is our current Barcast artist. I guess since it's a dead show, he's not really the artist for it.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who was doing our art most recently. He also was the one who, like, I was talking with him. I showed him a bunch of pens that I used for work, and there were like 15 different colors. He's like, "I'm going to draw a character with that many fucking colors." And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay, just make it the tail and just make it obscenely difficult for anybody to ever get a commission with." And lo and behold, here I am now paying fucking complexity fees for every fucking commission I get. So
Really worked out for you.
Oh, honestly, I mean, I've got the wings, which gives me a wing complexity commission fee, and tail colors. They're like, "Wow, that's a lot of colors. I'm going to charge you extra for that shit. Get fucked." And then obviously, because it's a non-pony character, getting art for a griffin is kind of difficult because artists are like, "Oh, I can only draw horses, so no, I can't let you buy this YCH from this." So I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's cool."
You know,
Can you post any can you post some art of your OC so we can get a full
yeah,
look
please
at it?
do.
Can I post some art? You better fucking believe I can post some art.
Pick your two favorite pieces.
Oh, I'm gonna post 10 anyway. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, okay, fair enough. It's really funny to me that like people on Twitter will put like, "I'm not gonna draw mecha. I draw the line at mecha. I won't draw that," but they'll draw like a fucking furry tiger taking a dump on a bird.
Absolutely.
I'm like, but you can't draw a robot, really? Mecha fans will pay just as much as furries for their art.
Oh, absolutely.
My friend Leo is mega into mecha, and he would pay a lot for some really good art.
Nice. Why not just go through a furry artist? Why does it specifically have to be a pony artist?
Oh, I buy a lot from furry artists, but there's a lot of crossover in furry and pony. And sometimes I really want a specific art style, and they only do pony. Like my favorite artists, like from the very beginning of the fandom, were Dim Fan, MC Mares, or NC Mares, or whatever the first one, and Mad Hotaru. and I believe they only did like horses. I think a couple of them have done more now. But, it's not very common that they would do griffins as well. It just seems like a weird thing to do.
Where does this obsession with burb come from?
I just like birds. I don't know. I've
Burbs.
just always kind of liked them. And then everybody says I channel very bird energy style things
Burbs are
with
cute.
how I collect
Yeah.
just a mess of
I like
shiny
tigers.
things.
Yeah, okay, Tony
Yeah.
the Tiger. Also, chat question for you. It's from Empty Plot Filler. Did you have a chance to listen to the Barcast is Closed tribute song? They said they've been thinking about doing another song, but life is bullshit. God, I feel bad.
Yes, I did. I threw it at the rest of the Barcast, and they all loved it as well. I need to find it again to give you guys links for it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull every single one of these pictures up slowly. So we have Burb Burger, a Burbger. Burbger, very good picture here.
Nice.
Let me get rid of the drinking words here. Burbger and up the Discord.
Burger.
Is this you and Pencil?
Which one? I don't see no stream just yet. Which one are you looking at? The second one?
Yes.
Oh, that is art done by Shoal, and that is me and Rosenon.
Rosenon. Okay.
Mm.
Then there's this one.
That's a good one. I
Holding
like
some
that one.
flowers. This is very cute.
That one was done by Rose.
That one's very cute.
Oh.
Oh, holy shit! You are locked and loaded. Is that like photoshopped in?
Yeah, the gun was actually just cropped out of the game, and then the character was drawn.
You have a GIF of your character?
Yeah, I actually have like I have a couple GIFs.
Oh my god! How much did this one cost?
That was like $60, I think.
That's
that
only
one, no,
$60.
That one was
Only.
even cheaper. That one was like 40, 20, 25, 30, something like that.
By the way, I'm gonna play that video on stream after these, if that's all right with you.
No,
Mitch.
that's perfectly fine.
Is that all right with you, Mitch?
Send me the artists.
Mogany, is that fun? Okay, cool. This one, 2-seater. I love that.
2-seater.
I love that little bean joke. That one's from Alice G. She does some amazing art. She probably has drawn my character more than any other artist at this point.
This is my favorite one so far. Become Orb.
That one was God, why can I not remember his name? He draws nothing but that style of art, and it's hilarious every fucking time. I just have a bunch of little things like that from I don't even remember the fucking name at this point.
Now, this is a license I could use. Now I don't need a license for this.
They even drew it with a little bit of JoJo in it.
And then, oh, this is just you. Yeah, this. Are you eating the dice?
Yes, that was done by Nutaz.
Is the background pony anyone important?
Hold on. Where are you? No, that's Newt. There's a little Newts around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
It's a little baby milk. I think we should put in a hydraulic press so he can eat it easier.
Milk with the tail. That's adorable.
Also, here's the artist and the link for the actual YCH push. I believe they're still doing. They're €20, which is $25. Any species, any gender.
Copy link.
Nice.
Gonna put this in the chat.
They should charge more for their arts.
They absolutely should. I took them no more than a day to do mine. I think they just fly through the art, so I think that's cheap.
Well, they should up their prices after they do my commission.
Yes, there you go. That's how you word it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna load up the Barcast is Closed video.
This is my first time watching it. This is the one.
This will be my first time seeing this as well.
Song, right?
This
was done by Empty Plot Filler.
This was done by Empty Plot Filler. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up.
Okay. It might be easier if stream it so we don't hear our voices over it.
It has closed captions? I didn't know that. Oh, fuck. hidden content. Yeah, there is. Look at that.
Is it playing?
No. Hold on. Sorry. I have to make it so we can hear it as well.
Why not just let me stream it? I think that'll be easier.
I think it'll be okay. I think we'll be
Okay, because
okay.
I don't want to hear my voice over
in-
it.
in
I'm
terms of, like,
aware.
copyright?
Yeah, I just have to
Oh,
unmute the
yeah,
game
no,
audio.
it's-
Okay, there we go.
it's-
Now we'll be able to hear it.
it's-
I'm gonna mute the chat audio just while we listen to this. So, okay.
Hello and welcome to the Barcast.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Priest, for the last time, one more time, read us out.
Seeing the empty bottles on the wall, and there's no guests lined up at all. No one's going on tap tonight. Barcast turned off the neon lights, still posting memes, typing nine. Wait for the replies while I drink. It's Saturday night and I sit alone. No neon light, into the dark I sing. A whole routine left to build with these people that we see. But there's no more going back. My God, it's only been a week. There is no point in lying, it wasn't only you who's crying. We never knew the cost it posed. Now that the bar is finally closed, the cast has their lives to live and their battles left to fight. Just like any other author, I guess I have my own stories left to write. Time moves on without change, still the time moves by slower. Yet one thing hasn't changed, without you the bar still gets lower. There is no point in lying, it wasn't only you who's crying. We never knew the cost it posed. Now that the bar is finally closed, pour me another, please don't take me home. Pour me another, please don't take me home. The tap ran dry, I'm already home, but not alone.
Thank you everyone for joining the Barcast. Your bartenders for this evening have been a non-pencil.
Thank you. Sincerely, honestly, with all my heart. Thank you.
Enigmatic Otaku.
Catch me on the flip side.
Flamin' Warfer.
Thanks for joining us. Get home safely.
Rabbit.
And I'm now actually crying.
Our creator, Milk.
Good night, everybody.
And my name's Flutter Priest.
We never knew the cost it posed. Now that the bar is finally closed, pour me another, please don't take me home. Pour me another, please don't take me home. The tap ran
That is a
It was good. Yeah.
wonderful tribute song. Very, very good. You know, there's a lot
Yeah.
of fandom music that doesn't even come close to that kind of quality, and the fact that you had that made for you by Empty Plot Filler for the Barcast, you know, that song
He's
kind of
pretty
made me
fun.
sad.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Man,
well done. Yeah.
And you know, there's the lyric near the start that somehow it's only been a week. It's been 2 months.
Yeah. I believe that video was actually posted in the threads a week after it ended.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It's been what, 2 months now. It ended on April 1st or
Yeah.
the day before, didn't it? It's like March 31st or so.
I don't
Yeah.
even fucking.
Because I remember
Yeah, the
Mogany made
editing-
the joke post after on the forum, and it was like, haha, funny April Fool's joke, guys.
It's like, I can stop pretending now. April Fool's Day is over.
I think we did it. I think we did the stuff and the announcements all either before or after April Fools because we definitely wanted to avoid any actual confusion, which we knew would happen.
Yeah.
So we worked around making sure everything we did was just based around, getting avoidance of that day.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you guys announced it on this date, it would have been funny, and if you guys announced
That
it,
would have
it
been
actually
really
hit
funny.
in.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I know.
That would have been on brand too.
I was so
Yeah.
ready to go with it, and I didn't want to pitch the idea because I didn't want to take such a sensitive moment, shit on it a little bit there, but like it really would have been hilarious if we just did it on April
Yeah.
Fool's Day and just let it ride from there. Everybody would so
I
confused.
I think there's a sentimentality. I think there is a sentimentality in making a joke in a sincere situation.
Oh yeah.
Especially like that. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Andy Puffer, just give a shout out to you. It was very good. I very much liked the audio editing of the intro and outro. It was very well
Yeah,
done.
it was.
Feel proud. You made something good. Yeah, I guess like I have questions on the dogs, but like the that did bring me to one thing. Like I kind of plan on asking each of you like once we eventually do get to the inevitable Barcast interview. Now that the podcast is over and you're just living life now, how does it feel? How does it feel knowing you don't have this thing you did a lot that was pretty much habitual for you? How does it feel knowing you don't have it to look forward to next week?
It was rough at the beginning there, for the first couple of weeks. It was like I was in the mode of like, oh shit, it's Monday. I didn't put up the thread. I haven't pulled a guest together. Oh wait, I don't have to do that anymore. We killed the show. And it was rough because like I'm in the mode of, all right, it's time to schedule somebody. It's time to get these threads up. It's time to pass the links around and do the whole thing. And it was a lot of busy work stuff that now that I'm not doing it, I'm struggling to fill some of that time. I started playing more video games, but it's still to the point where like I can only play like an hour and a half and I'm bored of it and done with it.
I'm right there with you. Like aside from Clone Hero, which I think I've shown you, it's basically just Guitar Hero Rock Band on PC.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I haven't played a video game on my computer or a console, no less, in like 3.5, 4 weeks now. I've tried and I don't have fun.
I'll probably play some Helldivers after this is done and go screw around for a minute or two on that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love how you were like, oh yeah, not doing the Barcast will be great. I get my weekends free, and then me and Muggin are like, hey, you want to just devote 3.5 hours on a Saturday to this nonsense? you don't get to hang out with Snoo.
Oh man,
fuck Snoo.
It was funny because he works a 9 to 3 schedule or whatever, so like he has to be in bed by 9 o'clock. But like at the halfway point almost, he'd already sent me a message to say goodnight, and I was messaging him back and forth with that. So
that's sweet.
I'm sorry to ask this. It was too personal. When you have sex with him, do you call it snoo snoo?
He calls it snoo snoo. Yes, he does.
Snoo snoo.
Good.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it for my questions. Do you have anything else you want to say, Seven Milk?
I had a question for Milk. Um, of the members of the Barcast, and I have two questions actually. This is the first one. Of the members of the Barcast, aside from convention meetings, who have you met in person the most? Excluding conventions.
What do you mean, like
Like in
going
person.
to?
Like visiting them or them visiting you. Because I remember you came to visit me once because you were in town for Snoo when Snoo lived in Northwest Arkansas with me.
Yeah, you guys are down in that particular area. I stopped by and saw you.
Yeah.
I've gone and seen Fiara a couple of times. I've gone over to her place.
You did drugs with me that one time.
Yeah, I did drugs with you that one time.
All of them.
I see Cloud every now and then. She visits or I go visit her. Handful of friends in Texas, like I'll go down there and see them, and sometimes they'll come up and see me. Oh man, there's Trey. Trey lives in Columbus, so I see him from time to time. Who have I seen the most though? Probably Cloud and Blood Moon. Those are the
Okay.
two people I see the most when it comes to fandom related people.
Gotcha. Okay. And then my second question is you've formed a lot of connections with people that you met both through the Barcast and outside of it. What's one thing that you would say you're most grateful for when it comes to having met all these people? Like, I mean, have they changed your life in any meaningful way, or is it just really fun hanging out with them?
It's really hard to quantify the changes I feel that they've made in my life. I definitely feel like a better person after the 8-year long experience, and obviously it's going to keep going because I'm still working at conventions essentially. I've always liked meeting new people, making friends, and just generally being a person that can be talked to in a normal manner or whatever. Man, can you repeat the question again? I'm just struggling.
What's one thing you appreciate the most about getting to meet all these people from the Barcast and become friends with them?
I really appreciate the fact that I have friends who are really, like I said, ride or die. If I called up Priest and said, "Hey man, I'll fly you out here, but I really need your help for something. I desperately need you." I'm 100% sure he would be on the plane the next day at my house, ready to do whatever the fuck I needed done.
Yeah. Well, speaking of really great friends, Vylon just said goodnight, by the way.
Good night,
Good night, Vylon.
Vylon's,
Perfect time. You were almost done.
It is. And I had one last really quick question. How did you meet Muggany?
How did I meet you? I don't even fucking know. I think you just showed up and started asking questions.
I know how I met you. I had met Flam first, and Flam was like, "Hey, why don't you go on this?" Oh no, it was Priest, and Priest was like, "Hey, you want to be on this podcast?" And I was like, "Sure." But how did you meet Muggany? Muggany, do you remember?
Okay, so
this is a loaded question because I could not tell you how I met Muggany.
It depends on how you frame it, because we did meet at BronyCon 2019. It was actually the first Barcast member I ran into.
No. When did you? Okay. So you weren't like.
I'm giving you an idea of when I met him on the podcast and when I actually met him.
Yeah.
We just spoke for a few minutes, and I just made a joke. He asked me who I am. I said, "I'm the man here to punch you in the face," because
I remember that. Yeah, you put that in the question.
Yeah. That actually happened, and he was actually like, "Whoa!" Like he thought I was serious, and
he was probably perturbed. He was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, and that memory just lives rent free in my head, because even after I revealed myself, I don't know if he if he remembered the Discord convo.
There were so many people who like not threatened physical violence, but like said, "Oh, I'm gonna shave your beard when I see you," or "Oh, I'm gonna pick you up and walk around with you." I'm like, "Oh man, there's a bunch of people telling me that they're gonna physically do things to me. I'm not sure if I like that, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. I feel like I've found a niche in my community." So
yeah, but yeah, the Barcast it was actually Jack's of a few trades episode. That was the first. That was the one where I realized, oh, there's this podcast. It's a thing, and I just spammed a whole bunch of random questions to try to be funny, and from that point onward, I just did that the rest of the podcast, and the difference between my questions from when I first started posting and by the end is my questions had a lot less focus because I was just saying random shit to be funny. And one thing I would do commonly is I would send Milk scripts and I would ask him to read it. I would ask him to read it live on air, and eventually Priest just got fed up with it, and he actually yelled. It actually made me feel bad. He yelled and said, "All right, guys, make questions for the guest." He was actually angry about it. But yeah, eventually after a while, like my questions did become more uniformed. But yeah, that was basically it. How I met Milk is
So Jack
I
of
would
a
just
few
send him movie
trades.
scripts.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? You know what's funny is Jack of a few trades actually is the one who asked a question that inspired the final emo and edgy story that's been written. Because
Really?
yeah, I know. Okay, so where did I put? I put vulgar stuff on this, right? Oh yeah, sexual theme, significant profanity or vulgarity. All right, cool. Twitch. Anyways, he left a comment on the something emo and edgy forum post, and it said, "Why haven't you written a story with dick cheese? Because we write disgusting stuff." So me and Dustin wanted to do some research, so we were reading through the questions before the podcast because we wanted to like come up with really elaborate, disgusting answers to everything in the same way we write our stories, which I think worked well for the most part. But when we got to that question from Jack, we took that as a fucking challenge and wrote the story that week and published it the night. We published it as the fucking Barcast started that night as a fuck you to him, and then had them link it in the chat to him. It was great.
Nice.
So, Jack of a few trades was the genesis for many
Yes.
Barcast things.
Yes. We are about to close up. I'm gonna
It's
before we
closing
close
time.
up, I'm gonna but I just wanna read the story I wrote for you that was read on closing time. This is because I like to even though it's only been like 2 months, I still like to I still like to go back to the cast and re-listen to the Barcast reading the stories because like I don't know, it just seems special to me. It like writing those stories, it made me realize how much I really like writing flash fiction. It's a lot of fun to do. So I want to read yours for you real quick. I just want to say something like that the Barcast did for me. That actually helps me like improves me. The Barcast actually made me feel better about having a porn alt.
You have a oh yeah, that's right. You do have a porno.
Yeah, yeah. At first, like I felt very awkward about I just noticed the lack of Ember non-con stories of good quality. I was like, I'm just gonna write one, and I posted it. I was like, no matter what kind of reception this gets, I'm not gonna tell anybody this is my alt. And I started out with like 15 dislikes. I was like, I'm definitely not telling somebody this is my alt. And then after that, it was in the feature box for 3 days, and I just announced I just announced that it was my alt. And for a while there, like I was actually very uncomfortable with having a porn alt, especially where like I just openly write non-con. But like after listening to like a few Barcast episodes, like I realized, oh, you guys are actually pretty sex positive, and that actually got me. That actually made me feel better by myself. So yeah, thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Yes. You're the reason why I'm an open degenerate.
I'm glad that you may suffer along with the rest of us.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, now it's time to read the little story I wrote for you. Okay. Let's begin. I remember when I met Milk at BronyCon 2019. Revisiting the memory now feels like unearthing a time capsule. I walked into the closed and selfless room for the Barcast meetup. It was packed, and searching for any familiar face would seem impossible. But, as fate would have it, the first person I saw was the man himself, Mike Snipe, my main man Milk. Flipping over my badge so he wouldn't recognize me right away, I walked up to him and I said, "Hey Milk!" Though I tore him from the conversation he was having, the simple recognition of his existence from a complete stranger put a light in his eyes. He held out his hand for me to shake and said, "Oh, hey, who are you?" I grazed his hand with my own, and with a clever smirk I said, "I'm the man here to punch you in the face." Context. I told Milk in his DMs that I would be running from Texas to Baltimore to punch him in the face if he didn't post a no more heart emote. Hearts are supposed to be red, dumbass, not white. He reared back in surprise. "Whoa!" That's when I flipped over my badge. "It's me, Muggany!" Please note, at the time, I was only 20 and still had hair, so this is a younger, more joyful Muggany. It's true, I'm bald now. Recognition dawned on him, and the light in his eyes returned, this time more overt, like a lighthouse shining its beacon. We started with small talk. When we ran out of small talk, we had a conversation. When we ran out of conversation, we simply soaked in each other's presence. At that moment, an idea struck. "Hey, I have some eds back in my hotel room. Want to kick back and watch some horses?" Boy, did he jump at the opportunity. We were chilling in opposite beds, because no homo, and watching TV when he said, "Man, these edibles ain't shit." I shot a look at him. "What are you talking about? You just had two." "Yeah, and they ain't shit. But I'm having deeply repressed sexual thoughts I don't even have when sober. How can you say they're shit when I'm currently going through the most exhilarating experience of my adult life? I dare say, good sir, have another." After 30 minutes, nothing happened. So I offered him another, and another, followed by another. Within that very hour, Milk had consumed 10 edibles. Only God knows the terror I felt when a certain set of words dribbled from his mouth like molasses. Ain't shit. Scared and confused, I realized that I was having a bad trip. The idea that Milk didn't think I was cool enough pervaded me. "Okay, well, I'm going to turn in." I woke up an hour later to the sound of banging. I sat up in bed, and the first thing I saw was a homeless man hacking at the wall with an axe. I was confused because I thought Baltimore didn't have trees. I hadn't given this man any money. Milk was sitting at the end of his bed, watching My Little Pony and vaping. "Hey, Milk," I said. "Who is this guy?" "Oh, he's my drug dealer." "Oh, what did you buy off him?" "Heroin!" An excited feeling spread up my spine, and I smiled. "So how was it?" "Ain't shit!" I deflated. "What?" "So I tried acid. Oh, wasn't shit. When acid didn't work, I tried ether. And then I tried meth. Then cocaine. Then fentanyl. And then I tried Molly, who's a really cool person that provided me with anabolic steroids. And then I tried mescaline. And you know what? Wasn't shit!" "Why is there blood running down your face?" "I tried cutting my face with a razor blade so that I at least feel something." "Wasn't shit!" "I tried freebasing. Wasn't shit." "Ketamine? Got a little bit of buzz going, but wasn't shit." "Well, what in God's name does it take to get you off?" I silenced myself, knowing that I had accidentally announced my intentions. Milk simply took a hit from his vape pen and pointed at the homeless guy. "Oh yeah, that's what Priest is here for."
Absolutely fucking gold, I swear.
Oh.
I couldn't come up with a good ending, so I just threw Priest in there.
That's the perfect ending, honestly.
It is. You have butt sex with Priest, who is homeless.
Obviously.
Yes. Okay, before we do the closing, does anybody have anything else to say?
This was fun. I
It
really
was.
enjoyed this for our first one. I thought we had a lot of fun. Milk, you were great.
I
You
did
were,
my best.
Yeah, and to reiterate, this podcast was inspired by the Barcast. That's why we had Milk as a the first guest. I had originally planned to introduce the Barcast entirely. I had actually contacted a few members right after the original podcast ended, and I was intentionally going to stretch out the amount of time between the ending, just mostly out of respect for you guys, and also just because I wanted I wanted like the it to be more impactful. No, so that when we finally do it, there would be this large amount of time between then. And so yeah, having you on means a lot because you were the you are considered the founder. You're pretty much responsible for this thing that happened. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm really glad to help and be a part of a brand new experience going on, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't like I guess like I don't want people walking away from this thinking we're trying to emulate what the Barcast did because I don't think what the Barcast did can be emulated. They were there at a specific point in time, and they were there at the right time. Um, I'm just doing this just because I wanted to do this, and it's not strictly going to be pony formats.
Nope.
Of course, we're going to interview people from film fiction. But I want to interview all sorts of people. The idea is I interview whoever I'm interested in. So it won't just be guest recommended. Maybe at some points, we will do that. Maybe I don't know. I have considered one of the things building up to this podcast that I considered is that there isn't going to be a set schedule for how each episode is released because the idea behind it was I do an intense amount of research behind the guest and base my questions off from there. But like based off the way I procrastinated with Milk,
I'll
I
keep
feel like this
you on
went
your
very
toes.
yeah. I feel like this went very well. Like the because I did write some of those questions at the last minutes. So I don't think like we'll have to worry about doing an intense amount of research behind guests, just enough to make the podcast interesting, just make the guests comfortable,
Mhm.
keep them
Well,
invested.
until the uncomfortable segment right after my shotgun
Yes.
questions. That's actually
Yes,
perfect,
and of
going
course,
straight from the shotgun questions right into the uncomfy questions.
we need to come up with a jingle.
Oh, true.
Yes. Yeah. There at the moment there won't be a set amount of time between the episodes. The main contribution to that is I want to make sure everybody can make it to the podcast. I want to make sure Seven can make it to the podcast. I want to make sure the guests can make it to the podcast. I want it to be perfectly flexible because inflexible schedules is how podcasts die out. I've seen it happen a lot.
Yep.
I've tried to start podcasts in the past and they just fall through because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to be as organized as possible here. That is what this is, the Snarkcast. I'm thinking of keeping the name now.
I like it.
Good name.
Yeah.
And it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
Snarkcast.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good first episode. I would like to do more. I guess now's really time for the closing. This has been your host, Mugany. 7 you up.
Hi, it was really fun doing this. My name again is Lucky7. Love all of you. Thank you for the support tonight, tuning in, watching. And
Milk, your turn.
Milk.
Bye.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Bye.